Man, it's so good. And Jan looks so good today. He's so excited. And so am I, because welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast. Episode 50 cent, 50-cent piece. Yes, we're back, baby. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad you guys are as well. Holy shit, my ears, because I forgot to mute the other end. My bad. But I'm so excited to be here. I know Jan is. We were just talking about before the show started how excited Jan is for this episode because we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to show off. I'm sorry to you guys that are Apple Podcast listeners. You might not be able to see a lot of what we're showing, but you'll be able to at least hear. So Jan's got his new setup. We got a lot of things fun planned for this show. So glad for you guys to be here. Jan, how's it going, man? I could feel your excitement before we cut on the camera. How are things going with you, buddy?
Dude, I'll be real with you. Like this whole month has been, kind of insane. Uh, it has been, busy as hell. Waking up early every day, go to bed late every day. Barely playing as much as I'd like to, barely doing anything fun as much as I'd like to. It's June. Is at that kind of just that point of that period of the year. But right now, I'm feeling great because this is, as you said, the 50th episode. It felt so good to hear you say it because I just can't believe you're here, dude. Just to give you an idea, just like 30 minutes ago, I was like, oh man, like I gotta do this thing. I mean, it's not like I didn't want to. I just had to get myself in the mood, right? And as soon as I started, gathering my things, right, because like we were doing today, we were having like a geek out today. And as soon as I started saying, okay, so what am I gonna, I was just setting things up, so seeing what I'm gonna show on the show today. I started getting fired up, and now I reached like an all-time high. So it's doing great. What about you, dude?
It's going good. It's going good, man. I'm happy. I'm happy you're here, and I'm happy you're excited. And thank you for being along on this beautiful ride with me. I know it's been a lot of ups and downs, more ups and downs, especially. But yeah, no, I'm same as you, man. I've been really busy. But I've had some time to play a little bit of games. Actually, as a matter of fact, you'll be proud of me. I think I finished my first game of 2024. I actually finished it in its entirety
No
for the
way.
year of
Is it Rise of the
2024.
Ronin?
No, actually, it's not. It's not. So we're gonna get into a little bit today. So I don't want to
Okay.
go too far. But obviously, we just had Summer Games Fest. We had the Xbox Showcase and the Ubisoft Connect, I believe is what it is. A bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other gaming shows and updates and everything. And the last announcement on the Xbox Showcase was Gears of War E-Day, which is based 15 years before the first game. So I've been on a big Gears of War kick right now, and I just beat Gears of War 1, and I actually beat it this morning. It's only like an 8 to 10 hour game. The other ones are a little bit longer. Um but I kind of like because they're not super long, so you can kind of get through them in a reasonable fashion. So I beat the
Hmm.
first one this morning, and I think I'm gonna go through the entire series. Man, it's so much fun going back to these games. And there's some of them I haven't even played yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. And the Xbox Showcase really got me amped for that. As is the whole showcase. The entire showcase
That's
was phenomenal.
insane. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, yeah. So real quick before we get into any of the topics and the other things we want to talk about today, just a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, be sure to go to our bio to follow us everywhere. We have socials everywhere: Facebook fan page, Twitter, well, which is called X now, Instagram, our TikTok page. We have a lot of fun things where we try to post gameplay and our thoughts on certain things that have released, whether it be movies, games, TV shows, whatever. We also have almost every episode of the Deadhead Podcast up on Apple Podcasts. Thanks to Jan or Orange here. He's really worked hard to get us to the point where we're at on Apple Podcasts. Right now, we're just on Apple Podcasts because of the way the software and the browser that we use for this podcast. We can't really put our podcast on Spotify right now. But Apple Podcasts should have almost every episode on there. We'll have the two newest episodes by the end of this one, and that way you guys can listen to us on the way to work or if you're going on a trip or whatever. So be sure to do that. But anyway, with that being said, Jan, I know that there's been a lot of stuff going on, man. I actually noticed something you were playing today. I think I noticed you playing a game earlier, and I'm a little surprised you're playing it. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I can give 5 minutes on it. So I think it's not that strange. What is strange is the title. Stranger of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origin,
Mm-hmm.
which is a game that exists inexplicably, like made by the same guys that made Rise of the Ronin and Neo and all of that. And it's pretty much that, like it's that type of game, but set in a Final Fantasy universe. More precisely, it's a retelling of Final Fantasy One,
Hmm.
but it's a very convoluted one. Like like Japanese, you know how they are. They
Yeah.
love convoluted stories, and this is as convoluted as it gets, without being sophisticated, like without the charm. It's straight up
Right.
stupid as fuck. Like it's the dumbest story ever. Uh, and it's also like some of the cutscenes look very cheap, like incredibly cheap, both in like choreography and in quality. They're like cutscenes of like the main party kind of walking through like a town, and they're having like a conversation. And as soon as the conversation ends, the screen cuts to black, only to then start, and then another cutscene starts in that same town with them still walking, having like a different, like just so they can have like two lines, like
Hmm.
some guys and someone else something, and then the cutscene cuts again. It's really bad, but the gameplay is kind of fun. And you know how Elden Ring, the DLC, is coming out next Friday, and
Right.
as you know, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. Getting one character initially, but now two characters, kind of ready for the DLC, two very different builds. And once I got there, I pretty much did everything I wanted to do with both characters. I felt it wasn't enough. I still wanted some of that kick, right? Some of that Souls-like kick. And I had actually this game for a while now. I didn't
Hmm.
play it because, that just not the kind of game, I usually would, put a lot of time in, but the time was right, and I kind of found something. As I said, I've been kind of busy, and this game is not too it's not too demanding, right? You
Hmm.
can just kind of play it. Actually, it kind of plays better if you just play like a couple of hours a day. It's very MMO-y in a kind of sense. So that's what I've been doing.
What's it? What's the graphic fidelity? Because I think when I played the demo, I thought it looked pretty bad on performance. It has two modes, right? Just like most games,
Yeah,
fidelity and
of
performance.
course.
What's it look like?
Well, I mean, it looks all right actually most of the time, but it has some levels have like these very detailed environments, which
Mm.
look very nice. They obviously put a lot of effort in it, but it does get messy. Like there are some moments when you're in a very chaotic battle, and the graphics look kind of smudged. They look kind of smudged, and they look kind of pixelated, right? Because and there are so many effects going on. Like every time you kill an enemy, like with a special move and turn into a crystal and fucking slam it on the ground.
Hmm.
There's so many of those particle effects going around that it really, even if with like a 4K screen, it does get a bit hard on the eyes.
Yeah.
But it's nothing terrible. Nothing terrible. I'd say that they made. I played the demo too back in the day, and I think it's better.
Okay.
I'm willing to
Good.
say it's better.
Well, good because I want to take I want to I took what you said very seriously because I'd like to go back and play it. I really would.
Hmm.
I played the demo. I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, I thought that the main character said chaos quite a bit. Garland is that
Oh
what
man.
he said chaos
Well,
a
his
billion
name is
times.
Jack, which
But
is
yeah.
yeah. It's very like it's very confusing. Really, they try to make it very complicated. There's like time travel involved,
Oh, okay. Shit.
aliens, memory loss, and it's very like badly explained. Like the game kind of demands you to like read like footnotes that appear during loading screens. Like you have like big chunks on every loading screen, and they're called something like fool's notes or something like that, and the game kind
Mhm.
of expects you to read it. I'm like, yeah, I read like the first three, and I'm like, you know what, no, like
Yeah.
it's not interesting enough for me to actually stop right on every
Right.
loading screen and read them.
Well, that's too bad because it makes you think like why didn't Square Enix try to like and I know this is a whole other conversation, but I'm just saying like with the idea of I don't want to say remaking might not be the best word for this, but retelling
Hmm.
somewhat of the events of the first Final Fantasy game, making a full-on remake like how we have like Final Fantasy 7, like the remakes with that
Hmm.
trilogy or whatever, or like there's also a rumored Final Fantasy 9 that could be coming eventually and things like that. Like I wonder why they never really try to do the first one. I mean, I vaguely remember the first story. I never really full on played it. So excuse me if you
Hmm.
have, but I haven't really full on played it. So I don't really know the story there, so I can't really give much there. But it is surprising they don't try to remake it like we're getting now, right?
Well, I haven't played it either. I have watched like a let's play of it some time ago. From what I remember, it doesn't really have a story. Like I mean, it's kind of just There's all, the world is in shambles. There's a legend of four heroes that are gonna fix it, and that's about it. You are those four heroes. Go save the world. Like there is some light, like a something that lightly resembles a plot somewhere there. Again,
Hmm.
something with time travel, but I'm not sure. But again, it's very simple.
Hmm.
And I guess is just me guessing, but I guess that they thought that this is the best way to go for it, like make a very silly game. Because like it's obvious that they weren't banking on the story. Like have the main character actually just speed running. There's like you have a point a bit later on where you meet like a lich, right? And the lich goes, you've done well to make it this far, but your journey ends here. For I and Jack, the main character, just kind of cuts him off and says, "I don't give a shit who you are," and
Yeah, I think I've
punches
seen
him in
that.
the face. Yeah. So like they're obviously not taking themselves seriously, which is something I appreciate. Like if you're gonna have a shit story, at least have the decency to to recognize that it's shit, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely. I'll be waiting on how you feel by the time if you see it through and you get
Oh
through
yeah,
the
well,
entire game. I'll be excited to see what you think about it because it is something eventually I'd like to get into. Because I mean, anything Final Fantasy related, I'll at least try it out. But you also mentioned something about Elden Ring, right? And actually, I read on Twitter, and you can tell me if this is correct or not. So, Shadow of the Erd Tree drops this week.
on
I
Friday.
had heard apparently. Now, excuse me, I don't know the name of this secret boss, but apparently you have to beat a certain boss just to play the DLC. Did you hear anything
Well,
about that?
yeah. I mean, when I was talking about prepping characters for the DLC, that's what I was talking about. That and of course getting the right build for it. The build that I wanted. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's ever been confirmed because I kind of went to media blackout for this DLC because I want to be surprised. But it's back when it was announced, it was speculated that she had to beat Moog, Lord of Blood, to um,
Mm-hmm.
to access it, because apparently to make it short, the DLC is supposed to focus on one character that's been mentioned a lot throughout the main game, but never truly like fully shown,
Mm-hmm.
which is Mikola. And Moog, he supposedly he kidnapped Mikola, right? That's the lore of it. He kidnapped Mikola, and behind him in his boss arena, there's this huge cocoon with one arm sticking out, and that's supposed to be Mikola's cocoon. So, and the speculation was, and I'm pretty sure like it's confirmed by this point, the speculation was that that's the Waygate. That's how you access DLC. It's through that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, as far as like bosses go, he's not the hardest, but he is. Yeah, I mean, it took me a couple of tries with each character. He's a tough one. He's a doozy. But but it's good. It's good. It's good prep work. It's good warm up. Because I think that DLC is gonna be insane with the difficulty.
Man, it's a shame too,
Yeah.
because man, from the things I've seen, it looks. I mean, it looks awesome. The new
All right.
environments, the art direction of this game is like it's almost second to
Unreal.
none, man. I love
Mhm.
the art direction. I'm so bad, and I just don't. I don't
Yeah, I
know,
get
man.
it.
I mean, listen, I did good to get to. I think because I was talking to Jan privately, because I saw him
Mhm.
playing it and I was seeing all this gameplay, and I was like, maybe I ought to just install it again, man. I mean, why not? As soon as I booted up the game, I'm like a level 33, so I'm not like starting
Mhm.
from nothing. And Jan made a good point of like I haven't played it in a while, so it's probably not a good idea to play with the character that I've already established. But it sucks because I had like I think I had seven. Excuse me. What are the healing potions called in this game in Elden Ring?
The flasks,
I had
the Crimson Tear flasks.
yes, Crimson Tears, exactly. I have seven of those. I was able to. I was following a YouTube oh
A guide.
to get the most like Crimson Tears and stuff. I was actually following a guy
Mhm.
to get to that point. I had seven Crimson Tears, so I thought that was pretty good. Plenty of healing.
Well,
I also killed a guy I probably shouldn't have killed, and I took his armor.
oh, like an
So I
NPC.
yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what his name is, but he said something to me that sounded kind of shitty. So I was like, okay, fine. So I
Mhm.
swiped at him, and turned out he whipped my ass a few times. And if how this game is that if you unless you make a save before you do it, they immediately as soon as you spawn back, they're trying to kill you. So it's a guy whose armor has like He kind of looks like a head is poking out of his chest piece. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
is it, man? Is it D? Like the D is the only
Uh,
one that.
yeah, his
How,
chest piece has like a
there's like a hand. There's like a Siamese twin coming out of his
yeah,
armor.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. Yep.
How did you get to him, man? I didn't even know you can like meet him in a place where you can like
I don't.
aggro him.
I mean, I
Yeah,
I don't I
I mean,
don't
there's
know.
things about this game that I don't know. This game is huge. I
Yeah.
put like over 100 hours into it. Multiple characters, and there's still sometimes like I watch a speed run or something, or like a challenge run, and I see something that blows my mind. I'm like, oh shit, what?
Hmm.
This is the game?
Yeah.
So, and it's
But
a huge game.
he beat my ass a couple times, but I took his
Oh
armor. I took his
yeah.
armor, and
Oh, his armor is badass.
it's heavy as shit though. Like it's a
Yeah,
really heavy armor.
yeah.
So like you almost
Endurance for
can't.
that.
Yeah, you almost can't have like well until you upgrade your endurance, you almost can't have
Mm.
anything else. But I booted up and I was like, I don't know what area of the map I was at. It kind of had more of like a reddish. It was more of like
Oh,
a
that's
red.
Caleb.
That sounds about right. It's like a
Yeah.
red filter, and I walked down. There was like an army of like skeletons, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is." I know where I was at. I was farming for experience over here because I think I
Uh-huh.
read in one of my guides it was saying to go over here and you can just get experience. Well, I went over there. I was like,
Mm.
"Let me just slash at these guys a few times," and I mean, I took out like 5 skeletons, and then they fucked me up on the 6th one, and I lost all my souls. I went back, got them, and then I was like, okay, I need to just start over if I'm gonna do this again. So I don't know. I might end up doing it eventually, but
Well, you know what I'm gonna tell you, Dylan, and this is something that I've experienced, and even like friends of mine who I got into these games have experienced, is that it's not about progression,
Mhm.
not in-game progression. It's more about your own personal progression. Like I had a friend who played a bit of Dark Souls. He got pretty far, and then he took like a month-long hiatus. And when he started playing again, I told him, you know what, start again, like start over. That's my recommendation. He was like, oh man, I don't feel like starting over. I got so far. All right, I got the gear I wanted and all that. And I told him, still, I mean, it's your choice, but that's like my personal recommendation as a veteran of these games. And he actually, took me up on that. And he told me he was glad he did, because with the game knowledge and with the skill you accumulate, getting through the game again, getting through points again, it's actually much easier than you think. It's
Mhm.
actually better. It's kind of a warm up for what comes later, and
Mhm.
you do it even more efficiently, right? So you're not killing NPCs you're not supposed to kill. You find equipment that you haven't found before. When it comes to the flasks, dude, like it's so easy to just go around the map and gather the golden seeds to get that many flasks. So like they don't even trip about that.
Um, well, speaking of another NPC, you probably shouldn't have killed.
How
As
many?
soon,
What are
dude,
you doing in those
I,
games, dude?
I've played a bit more Fallout than I should have because in Fallout you can fuck up everybody. But anyway, when you first start the game and you come out that first initial, as soon as you get to the big open part of Elden Ring,
Yeah,
when
the
you
first
first start
steps.
the game,
Yeah.
there's a guy with like a bouquet of flowers. Uh, do you,
White Mask Vare, you mean? Is he the guy that like that talks kind of in a creepy way and tells him
he's the
he,
first guy you see before you see the tree sentinel. The tree sentinel is
oh
out in the
yeah, it's
distance. Yeah,
that's Vare. Yeah, he tells you he kind of shits on you. He tells you,
I killed him too.
you know what? Good on you, honestly. He's a piece of shit. All he does is like talk. What he is? He's a manipulator. That's what he is. He talks you down, and then after you make some progress, he says, maybe you have some potential. And then he tells you to just go do his dirty work, pretty much. And
Mhm.
once you do, he makes you join his cult. Uh, so you know what? Just fuck that guy.
Yeah.
The only reason like I keep him alive, because if you do join his cult, right, you get an early access to Moog, the boss we were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
okay.
So that's why I keep him alive, right? Because he tells you, oh, now you're one of us. You can join our mausoleum.
Mhm.
Little does he know, the only reason I got there is so I can kill his boss. But
Yeah. No, it is like honestly, I don't know if I'll ever get into those games to be honest. Like Rise of the
Mhm,
Ronin is probably the closest I will ever get because
mhm.
it has that kind of same it's more fast paced, I would say.
But it's
But
Souls like, yeah.
it's very Souls like. So I don't know, man. It's just I know we've talked about this before. I like a challenge. I do like I played Gears of War on not
Mhm.
the hardest difficulty, but I played it on like the one right below the hardest because I was like, bro, I haven't played these games in a while, so let me just kind of take it easy. But I feel like I'm pretty good at third person shooters, so let me just do that. And I died several times in that, and it was a good bit challenge. But when you started getting the flow of combat, and you're able, because the great thing about Gears of War, and I tell you one right now, like I wish you had an Xbox because I think it'd be super fun to play co-op with you. I think it'd be a blast
Oh, yeah,
because
that'd be
if
good.
if you were able to play co-op, one, the game would probably be a little easier, but that's when I would up the difficulty up to the highest and just be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it. But like when you get into the flow of combat and you can be a bit more strategic on what weapon to use at a certain time and stuff, it's like it feels more rewarding to me. I think that was my one thing about Souls. We've talked about this before, but I never felt more rewarding because I got my ass kicked so much that by the time I beat him, I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, yeah, you bitch. Yeah. And then I go to the next guy and then I get my ass kicked. So yeah, it kept that vicious
Yeah.
cycle, you know. I don't know. I love the aesthetic. I want you to know this though. I do like From Software games. I'm so glad they exist. And they look awesome. Like Elden Ring has one of the best aesthetics I've seen, period. And I
Oh, yeah, hell
wish I
yeah.
could get more into it, man. I'm telling you.
Well, you're not gonna tell you. I think it is kind of tragic, but I'd rather have that. Like, I'd rather have games that do not try to appeal to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if they might alienate some players, in this case you, which is, a shame again. But I'd rather have that than something like, Assassin's Creed, who just tries to appeal to like everyone and makes the most generic
You're right.
story, the
You're
most
right. You're right.
bland environment. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
no,
get into
no.
that.
Listen, I agree with you, and this is coming from an Assassin's Creed fan, not as much as the new ones, but I get what you're saying. Like even though I will say I am excited for Shadows though, because I just love feudal Japan. I love the shinobi stuff and samurais. I think it shit's awesome. So I am excited for that.
That's warranted,
So
of course.
yeah.
But dude, are we gonna get into the main topic
Oh,
or
oh yeah, yeah, we definitely,
or
yeah,
what?
we're kicking it, man.
I'm
We got
sorry,
that.
I'm just
This
giddy.
is
I'm
this
giddy.
is
You know what I'm saying?
I was just taking our time, man. Taking our time, baby. Just we
Right.
I was just enjoying, man. We've been the one good thing about this show is, and I've talked about this a lot with you guys. If you guys are not new, and guys who are new, me and Jan are good friends outside the show. So I try to check in on, see how he's doing, and talk about what we're playing and stuff. But also see this is just time just to kind of catch up. It's fun to just talk
You're
about
right.
what we've been doing. But yeah, we'll stop. We won't keep Jan waiting much longer. So one of the things we had talked about, we had a couple topics we were thinking about for episode 50. If we were going to have a potential guest on, things like that. And I think what we came down to is just doing something a little bit different. We are big nerds. We love collecting special editions, and whether that be games, movies, TV shows, and comics, what have you. Controllers. I mean, if you guys can't see it, but I have a fucking mountain efforts of controllers here. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of have like maybe not exactly like a show and tell, maybe not something that concrete, but maybe just to show off some cool stuff. I have some stuff to my right, your left here. I know Jan's got some stuff, so
Oh yeah.
um, we might have a couple duplicates. I don't know what all Jan has. I'm trying not to be like too because me and you do have some of the same stuff, but
Sure.
I wanted to
I
pick
don't
out a
think
couple
so though.
things that I was
I
cool.
wouldn't be
But
afraid of that. Because
okay,
you know what, I don't know what we didn't like talk too deep, too like we didn't get too many details into what we're gonna show. I saw it more as okay, things that are obviously cool. Like, I'm not gonna show like a standard edition or something. I'm gonna show you, just a picture of my comic book collection, right? Because that's just boring, right? That's just me just flexing. I want to show things that they're a bit somewhat exclusive, somewhat limited, but are mostly near and dear to my heart.
mhm.
So it is kind of show and tell instead of I'm not telling you the actual thing, but more what it means to me, what experience I had with this thing. Again, be a comic, movie, game, what have you.
Great,
So
great build. Well, with that being
yeah.
said, Jan, man, I know you're itching. Why don't you go ahead?
Oh man.
I guess we can start it off with you. Go ahead, show us what you got. Let's talk about it, and we'll kind of go back and
Uh,
forth for a little bit until we
sure
decide we're
thing.
done.
You know what? I got some comics here, but I think I'd be remiss if we didn't start with games, and if we didn't start with one specific game. One, yeah. And there's a little bit of a story here. I don't know if you remember, but back in early February, a little thing called Persona 3 Reload came out. We made a whole episode about it, and I bought like the super expensive collector's edition, the most I've ever poured the most money I've ever poured into a new game. I usually don't. That's just how much I how much I care about this game. And I was planning to do an unboxing, but shit happened and it never came to. So I think that we were long overdue.
Do it. Let's
It's
do
up there. It's up there somewhere. Let me get
it.
it.
Hell yeah. That's
So,
cool.
all right, dude.
Check out
Here it
Jan's setup,
is.
by the way. Don't you think that shit's cool, man? He's got a bunch of
Yeah.
old school shit in there. I love it.
Oh, I got some PS1 games, dude. You're in for a treat. So here it
Yeah.
is. Look at that.
Oh man, that thing's clean.
Isn't that a big motherfucker? It's gonna be a bit awkward to show him film,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm gonna try my best.
Sorry for you guys
All right.
listening, by the way. He's showing Persona 3 Reload. What is
Yes,
it? The Ultimate Edition or whatever it is? What is
it's
it?
called the Aegis edition.
Oh,
Aegis,
right.
you haven't met her yet. It's one of the main characters on the show. So I show you the sides, but are kind of boring. You just Persona 3 Reload, then I have the same shit you have on the back of the standard edition.
Right.
But then this thing comes off. Oh,
wow.
and now you got something,
Dude, yeah, that
Now
looks awesome.
that's Aegis. You got
That's
some
awesome.
Reload on the back, and this is again Aegis, but instead of her, it's her silhouette, and you have
Right.
various characters on the show, and you have a roll call here. You can't read it. I'm gonna try, but it's it just has the names of the characters.
Sick.
Then you open that. You open this. One sec. I'll get there.
It's a box in a box.
It's a box in a box. If you count the game, okay, first off, you get the soundtrack. And not enough collector's edition do this. I mean, honestly, I don't know about you, Dylan, but when I buy a collector's edition, I'm not just buying a box, right?
Right.
I hate collectionism for the sake of collectionism, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm not if you're that kind of guy, anyone listening is like that. I have nothing against you. It's not for me, right? I feel it's silly buying something just so that I can have it. I want to have something that at least is a little bit functional, something that I get a bit exclusive, right? We're feeding a bit into capitalism here, but at least, right, it has some meaning to me, and not enough collectors have. There's two things that I want: art books and soundtracks. That's most that I want, because that's usually, besides the game, that's what I like the most about it, the art behind it, which boils down to those two things, besides, of course, the whole gameplay integration and story and all that, which obviously cannot be synthesized in another way. So yeah, you got 2 discs, which I think.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, right.
Is that both music, both filled with music?
Yes, dude, there's a whole track list here.
Dude, the music. By the way, guys, I was kind of critical about Persona 3 Reload, but I will say the music was hitting pretty well with me. I will say that.
Dude.
Sorry, go ahead, carry on. My bad. I just wanted to.
No, that's good. No, I like your interjection. Sorry, kidding.
I wanted to add
that. You got 2 CDs, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, that's cool.
And you got what I got here is a track list. Oh no, actually, it's not a track list. This is for the okay, yeah, it is a track list, right? There are 32 tracks on disc 1 and 28 tracks on disc 2.
Wow.
And and then you have lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Some of these songs have lyrics, so you got the lyrics, and that's about it. The rest of it is empty. I emptied it out. You get a little Aegis statue and an art book. So if you don't mind, I'll get it real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead, sure. Yeah, show it also. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's I was pretty critical on it, but man, the music in the game is awesome, and I love the art direction too. Even though I know Jan has some gripes with the remake or I don't. It's not. Is it a remaster or is it a remake? I don't even know.
I'll call it a remake. I would call it a remake.
Remake. Okay.
I would call it a remake because they changed enough. They changed enough to call it a remake.
Okay, I got you.
So here you have little statuette, and it's Aegis. I don't know how well you can see her.
Yeah, I can see her.
The box.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it. This is very anime. Just having a little action figurine. Those are the things that anime fans jack off to, right?
Yeah.
I'm not too much for anime figures. I have a few. I have 4. Yeah, which means I'm not into them. Then I like having four
Yeah,
of
I have like four. Yeah,
them.
I got you. Yeah,
Well, in my defense, two of them I got to collector's editions, like
yeah,
this one, and the other two I got gifted, like they were a gift.
yeah.
So that's my defense on it. Uh, I'm not actually. This was like I think this was like the high point. I think this is why the collector's edition is so expensive. But I don't care too much about it. I think this is probably going to trigger like a bunch of fans. But I don't care too much about it. I'm sorry. What I do care about
Hmm.
is this bad boy. It's not
Yeah,
hardcover, which is kind of okay, whatever.
yeah. It sucks. Yeah.
But the thing in here, dude, you get first off, I am critical about the remake, but I'm not critical about the art. Like I
Right.
actually
Okay.
like the new designs. This art book opens with it kind of full on covers of the of every single character, right? You got Akihiko, you get Mitsuru,
Yeah.
you get I'm not gonna spoil too much. And then of course you get the cool stuff, right? You get little design works, right? So you see you
Yeah.
have little notes and that about the weapons. They actually translated all of these. There's all in English, so you can tell. It says here like collar height. The height of his jacket coat is slightly lower than that of his shirt. Like you have little things that kind of make it alive. I
Yeah.
really like that, and it's one for each character. Like it's not just for those two. Like this is huge. There's a lot
Yeah.
of this, and this is you gotta tell you. Ooh, and then get into the details. About their special suits,
Yeah.
or special outfits, and then even better, at least for me, you get to the environments. Let me get to those. Oh, before the environments, actually, you have something really cute. You got logo and UI drafts. So these are
Look.
logo drafts,
Oh.
right? How the logo is supposed to look. And I'm not sure, I don't know how well you can see the other one, but they're like UI drafts. So the UI is
Yeah.
supposed to look like, little ideas.
Huh.
And you know what I'm going to tell
Uh,
you?
do
Some of
they
these,
do they usually put that? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. So when it do, because I haven't looked, I have a couple art books myself, but is that more of like an Atlas thing, right? Is that the developer that puts like the UI drafts? That's kind of cool. I never really saw that
that
in
is
art book.
Yeah, I mean, I have just one other, and it's for Persona 5, and I don't think they have that. This is the first time I've seen that, and it's really cool. Like I might send a picture of this to you, Dylan, later because some of these are almost nostalgic in a way.
Hmm.
Not as a Persona fan, but a little story here. You know how back in 2000s, early 2010s, the internet would be flooded of like these pictures of like pretty much artists like on DeviantArt and shit like that doing, ooh, what would like Kingdom Hearts 3 look like? Like what would the UI look like?
Right.
Or what would the cover art look like? And then you have like these very awful like
Yeah.
draft.
Right.
And some of these kind of look like that. They kind of remind me of those.
Kind of have it.
Some are
Yeah.
cooler than others. But yeah, the last thing that's cool in this artwork is the one with environments.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, just look at this shit, dude.
Yeah.
I love this. And this one
Yeah.
thing, as much as I shit on the remake, they did a good job with Tartarus. Because Tartarus in the original, I don't know if you know, but it's very old schooly,
Yeah,
even
you
from
told me. Yeah,
2006.
yeah, you
Yeah.
told me. You told me that compared to what you see in the remake, it's levels below what you see in the remake and the
Oh
original,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people defend the old one because they say, "Oh, that's the point. It's supposed to be old school. It's supposed to feel like like an old video game." Because I don't know, which I accept that idea, but I think that like for these audiences, and for the sake of doing something different, because that's what I'm asking for this stream, is to do something different. Like just don't give me the same game, because if you just give me the same game, then what's the point, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's enough about that. So that's my first show
That's
and
awesome.
tell, my
That looks
first
awesome.
exhibit. Yeah, glad you liked it.
It's awesome.
Uh,
Actually, dude, I had a when we were talking about it on the show,
mhm.
I saw that was available, discounted in the States. And
Oh, dang.
I was close. I was like, I'm not really as into it, but man, that collector's edition looks pretty cool. I think they look awesome in my just collection. I didn't do it because it's just not my it's not my series.
Yeah,
But that does look awesome, man. That's an awesome collector's set,
right?
man. It's
I'll tell you,
great.
dude, like for like once in a lifetime purchase, worth.
Yeah, right.
Definitely worth.
Yeah, and it's
And
definitely worth it when you have a passion about that certain game. I mean, there's not too many games that I mean, there are games definitely like obviously if they made like a Red Dead
oh yeah,
collection like that, if they made like a Batman Arkham or whatever, which they have, they've done that. I just missed out because when those games were coming out, I didn't have much money, so I couldn't really do that. And not really, I don't have a lot of money now,
yeah,
but
yeah. And like, dude, I feel like I would love to have something like that for like Dark Souls. But when
yeah,
that game came out, I was 11,
yeah,
and by that time, you couldn't find it on eBay for like a super inflated price. So like, and
yeah.
honestly, dude, honestly, man, like, not all collector editions are made equal. That's what I'm
That's right.
saying all this
Yep,
time.
I agree.
Like, there's like the Elden Ring one, which I mean, I guess I could have gotten. It costs
Oh,
as much as this one, like that,
yeah,
like 200.
yeah,
You get like a statue, like a figure, and that's about it. Like you get like the a soundtrack, but digitally,
yeah,
which I mean, at this point, like it's already on Spotify. Like what I'm gonna do with it, right? So it's it's case by case. Like so sometimes I have like I don't have like a precise policy on like which edition I buy from games I'm looking forward to. It's very case by case.
yeah. I agree. I
It's
agree.
uh,
It's one of the. It's like those bigger ones. Like I knew that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth games like that. I had to get at least get a maybe not the most expensive edition, but
sometimes they're excessive. Like the most expensive
yeah,
ones are just like you just give me a big like art figure, like awesome. There's like something that is gonna pick up dust, right?
yeah,
In my room for the first 5 years, and then in my attic for like way after I'm dead, right? So what's
yeah.
the point of that?
I agree,
I
and
mean,
I know,
it's
and
numbered. It's limited. Like there's only 6,000, and you get the actual number of which copy. Like who gives a shit? Whatever. I'm
yeah,
sorry for
I
interrupting
mean,
you. Go ahead.
if no, I'm saying no, no. I agree with you. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I think it too. It's like you get to the point where you start running out of room. You know, like I got a daughter on the
Hmm.
way, so all the room that I had is definitely slimmer. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Happy Father's Day to everybody. I completely forgot about that.
Is
I'm
it
gonna.
today?
Yes, well, in the states it is. I don't know if it is over there for you
Oh, yeah,
guys.
it's different. Yeah, but
Okay,
then
okay, but
that almost applies to you. So
yeah,
I
man.
should be saying Happy Father's Day.
Well, I've had people say Happy Father's Day to me today, and
Mm,
it's starting to sink in, because we're
mm,
getting closer. So
mm.
that I forgot to mention that. So Happy Father's Day to everybody out there in the states, and to all the mothers who are playing both roles. Happy Father's Day to you as well, because I mean
Definitely.
it's a big especially if you're handling things on your own. I know it's a lot out there, but to go back to your collection, that's awesome, man. I was actually, like I said, if I was into it at all, I would have probably picked it up as well. But just seeing it looks cool, and that's a good thing to keep, man. It's like I'm jealous.
Oh yeah,
I'm not even into the game like that, and I'm jealous myself. So
awesome. So the ball is in your court now. I guess
okay,
we can do like one on one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
show one, you show one. Yeah.
I love it when the balls are in my court. Uh, so anyway, yeah, I have a couple things here. I think since you did gaming, I'm gonna go with gaming too. So I think I showed Jan this when I got it. I actually bought this for like $30 at a used at like a retro gaming store, and this is actually $100 special edition. I got it for $30, and that is. Let me make sure I got it right up there. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Cosmic Deluxe Edition, and it's actually pretty meaty boy, man. It's got a good little bit of girth to it, man. So $100 collector's edition. I got it for $30. Have you played this game, Jan?
I have not, but I'm waiting for it because I think I would enjoy it.
I don't quote me on this. I thought that it was on PlayStation Plus. I thought,
It was, it
but
was,
it's not
but as you
anymore.
know, well, it doesn't matter because I regressed my subscription to standard or
I
essential,
I did
whatever it's
I did
called.
I did
Yeah.
too. I did too, bro. I did. I was like, I can't. I'm trying to
Not, it's not sustainable.
like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I like guys like to you listeners out there. I hope this don't make us look like a couple of broke bitches because we are. But I mean, but it's a lot, dude. It's like it's getting expensive, man. I think over here it's like $17 to get like the biggest package, and I just can't pay that anymore.
You do it like it's insane. Like I pay yearly as you do, and it's like over €100 a year. Like, are
Yes,
you insane? And
that's
honestly, you know
crazy.
what? If I were the kind of guy, okay, two caveats. This is just
All right,
one big
yeah,
tangent, but like two caveats. First off, I'm the kind of guy who still buys new games and likes to even like buy older games. As you like, I go to flea markets and I browse
Yeah.
eBay a lot. There's just like having my games physical. So I like the luxury of just being able to just download a game that maybe I don't want to like go out and buy, right? But I think it's just not sustainable for me. Like if I were like swimming in gold, then maybe I could do both. But I kind of have to choose between the two, right?
Right. It makes sense. Yeah.
One and two. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. I may look like what Dylan called me before, a Sony whore, but I ain't gonna call Sony out because like what as of right now, what PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium is, it's a shittier Xbox Game Pass. That's what it is. It's an Xbox Game Pass, but worse, with way less game at launch, with way less games overall, and especially premium. Like you're paying extra for a very limited extended catalog. I mean, they're getting kind of better, but very, very slowly. And I just feel like
100%. I agree.
I felt like a deuce, just saying, "Oh, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better." But in the meantime, I'm paying for this shit, right?
Yeah.
So like, what's the point? Like they're adding PS2 games now, but it's like 3, and it's like 2 games that already had a remaster on PlayStation 3. Like, come on, like they got. I'll buy one, and if it's worth it.
Yeah,
that's my.
I agree with you, and actually, that was one of the things I was going to talk to you about because, like, and I'm not trying to make this a console war thing. Listen, I lean towards Sony. I've had for years. My first console was a PlayStation 1, so I'm going to lean towards it because that's been my platform since I started playing video games. However, I will also say, and look, I'm not going to act like just because this Xbox showcase was great. I'm not saying that, oh man, Xbox is making a big turnaround. That's not what I'm saying. But what I will say is this: we are starting to see more of the reaping of the awards, I guess you could say, of finally Microsoft buying these companies, and we're finally starting to see the turnout from buying these companies because. And I'm not one of those, like, dude, there's so many podcasts and channels out there who do like gaming politics, right? It's always like this gaming politics, acquisitions with this company, blah, blah. I'm not really into that, but you are starting to see that with PlayStation has started to, I would say they've really started to mellow out. Really, as far as I think they realize, like, they've been on top for years and Xbox has been dormant. So they're like, shit, if we release a game once every 2 years, we're still above those guys. Like, it don't even matter. You know what I mean? That's probably what they were thinking. But
they're stacking
did I lose
is
you?
what you're saying.
I think you froze for a second. What'd you say, Jan? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I lost you for a sec. Yeah.
Oh, what were you saying?
What I'm saying is that you're saying that they're slacking off.
Yeah,
is what you're saying, right?
I do, and I still prefer PlayStation, but I just think that I don't know, man. They're kind of slacking in my opinion. I just don't feel like they're putting a lot out anymore, and I think they feel like they're so far above Xbox that they feel like they can kind of do that, but. I don't know, man. It's they're starting to look a little it's a bit vacant on the PlayStation side here lately.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, as you said, I'm not gonna make a whole argument about this, but I am gonna say this. Like the sun has to set on empires from time to time. The sun has to set and the sun will rise. That's how it has on Xbox during the 7th generation when PS3 was really falling behind, and then PS4 came out, and then Sony was again on top. And maybe we're seeing a downfall again. I think that's okay, right? Like these are companies; these are not our friends. As you said, I stick pretty much to PlayStation because I just like their games better, right? I just like the way they do things better. But I am aware that at the end of the day, they're just a company. They're just all they want to do is just get all the money out of me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna exempt them from criticism.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I think you get to, I think what some people are is like you show criticism toward a certain side, you immediately a hater. Like I like them both for their own separate things. I mean, I can't play Gears on PlayStation, and I think that's how it should be, right? I think you got it. I think you have to have some sort of, and we talked about this before, and we're going to get more into what we are actually doing today. But I think you do have to have a little bit of, you have to have the exclusivity. I do think that's okay. Like having Halo and Gears and Fable and Indiana Jones, and I mean, it's weird that Bethesda is now an Xbox property, but even that, like, it's good to have
Yeah,
exclusivity. It sucks that it is the way it is, but it kind of it gives you a reason to buy each console. And when I was growing
that's
up,
right.
like, it was cool. Like, what did you like more? Do you like Gears? You like Uncharted? Which one did you like better? Well, I lean more towards Uncharted, and I was a
Pretty
PlayStation guy,
much.
so anyway, go back to it
Yeah.
though. Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a great game, man. I think if anybody hasn't given it a try, to you listeners out there, if you can't see the special edition, give Guardians of the Galaxy a shot. The story is awesome. Gameplay is repetitive, but the story is awesome. They do such a good job of giving more backstory to Star Lord. I love Star Lord's story in this game. It's so good. It's as we know that if you guys watch the Marvel movies, Peter Quill, he loses his mother at a young age. He gets adopted by Yondu, and he gets taken away from Earth. Right. Um, in this story, they kind of explored a relationship with him and his mom, and it's some really good touching.
Oh,
It's some really good touching stuff, man. Yeah, this is a Star Lord story. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. You see the other ones there, and they're awesome. They're fantastic. Drax is a beast in this game. He's a beast. He's stupid. He's still that, like, not stupid, but he's still like he's very naive. He'll listen to everything you say, but he is not like he is in the movies. That's one of my main things. I love Dave Batista. Of I love his character, but I do think they kind of made him more of the comic relief as the Guardians of the Galaxy movies went on. In this game, they really right that wrong. But anyway, this one also has a sleeve. You take that off,
oh,
and it has this really pretty looking. I'm trying to get in the light here. Really pretty front with all the Guardians on the front, and you got a Rocket Raccoon doing the bunny ears behind Drax. And
ah, that's such a cool detail.
I don't think there's much on the back there, but take it off, take the cover off, and it comes with, we love our steel books. So it has the same cover that we saw before, but it's really clean. I love this picture here. And there's the back with the Guardians logo. Super cool. And then open it on up, and really cool. As you can tell, this is the Xbox version. That's the only version they had. And actually, I beat it on PlayStation, but I didn't. I was like, I'm so tempted to do another playthrough on Xbox, because I'm telling you guys, show this game some love. I would love to see a sequel, but it just sucks. This is the same developer that made the Avengers game, so
How?
that really sucks, man. Because this game is awesome. And then we talked about. I'll open this up. We won't go through the whole thing, but this also has an art book with it as well.
Ooh,
So
love to see it.
yeah, we'll go through it a little bit. This is actually and it's hard copy, so that's pretty cool. I know we were
As
talking
God
about
intended.
as God intended. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I think this game does a really good job of. I think when you were talking about Persona 3, we talked about like the environments and some of the places.
Mhm.
In Guardians, there's so many different planets you go to, and they all feel unique, and they're very, very detailed. Like here's some character models of. I'm trying to get as close as I can, but I'm kind of
Yeah, it's
struggling
gonna
here.
bitch right now.
But over here, you got Peter Quill when he's a kid. And he's a couple different versions of him that they were before they got to the final version. Got a bunch of logos. Obviously, Peter Quill loves that 80s music, so it's got like an 80s vibe to it. Here's a good one of Gamora. Jan, try not to get too like flustered here, man. I understand she's hot, but you don't have to get weird about it. But there's Gamora.
Oh, it's just so green.
Dude, so green, so hot. Yeah. But yeah, really cool, man. I like the villain in this game. It's got some good references to the movies and stuff. And yeah, it's a cool collection, man. And I to wrap it on up for what I'm gonna say, and then I'll let Jan give his piece. If you've been on the fence, give it a shot. I think you'd like it.
Man, that's like, you know how they say, the biggest surprises come in the smallest packages. Because like that thing that didn't look like had much in it. I thought it was gonna be just a steelbook.
No, man,
But look at that. It looks very like at the sleeve and
it's
the
so nice.
artwork.
It's so nice, man. $30 too. $30, and this was $100 or $120 edition. So
Damn.
very, very happy about it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I know I kind of rushed through it, but it's a great game.
You got a lot to go through, so
check it out, man. Check it out. But
that's
all I got for that.
dude. Yeah, dude. I mean, that looks cool. Yeah, that's a good one. I have a few small ones like that too, but it's always a treat to see those, because that's what I'm saying. Like the big ones are usually just inflated. Like those small ones,
Yeah.
those are kind of my favorite.
Yeah,
And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm definitely playing that because people might know I'm not a huge MCU guy,
I'm not either, not
but
anymore.
yeah, I never really was, but I always watch the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's
The
too good. It's
great.
too good. Like, I mean, I wish all of Marvel was like that. I mean, not like a cookie cutter copy, but just like the quality and passion put into that. Like the
Hmm.
characters, they're genuinely funny,
Very
and the
funny.
soundtrack is great, and the story are actually moving. Especially the third movie. Oh man, the third movie
Yeah,
was devastating. Like it has, just I remember watching it. I was appalled. I was actually kind of. It shows a lot of very horrid stuff about humans,
yeah,
and the great thing is they managed to balance, comedy and actual like raw issues, like actually, issues that it portrays, of course, through its sci-fi settings. So great movie.
yeah.
So I'm,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure the game is great too.
Yeah, it is, and the good thing about it is, just in case I didn't know if you knew or not, this is obviously not based off of the films at
Movies,
all. So this is his
and
own
that's what I
thing.
like.
Yeah,
I like that because I kind of hate that, like, since the MCU got so popular, not everything is based off on that.
yeah.
Like, a lot of people were shitting on Marvel's Avengers, as they should. But one thing they were shitting on is that the characters don't look like in the movies, and I'm
Hmm.
like, thank God, because like what's cool about Marvel is that you have very different artists having their different takes on it. And if all of that becomes like one homogeneous blob, then what's the point?
Well, I think another thing that also hurt it. I think.
Mm,
Well, it's a couple things that hurt it. One being live service. That's
of
live
course,
service
yeah, no.
games are just not good. Second thing is that you and I love Nolan North and Troy Baker. I mean, they're great.
Hmm.
They were our childhood for a lot of the games we played.
Oh hell yeah,
But
Uncharted.
I think making Nolan North Iron Man, when he sounds just like Nathan Drake, and it's jarring. That's not one of the reasons why, though. He was probably one of the better parts of it. Him and Troy Baker
Mhm.
both, but like I think the game would have been better, not live service, and then your mission structure was better because the combat wasn't bad. I will say, like I did play they did a Black Panther DLC because Black Panther wasn't available when the game first came out, and that was a blast. But Guardians of the Galaxy just has something I think that if Marvel Avengers had that same love, like just a single story, 15 it might, I don't even know how long let's just say it's 15 hours long. It
Mhm.
has expansive worlds. They're not open, but they're expansive. The dialogue between the team is fantastic. It is very reminiscent of the movies, but also has its own flair. Then you're also telling an emotional story with Peter Quill, his mom, and there's another situation that I don't want to spoil if you haven't played the game.
Mhm.
And that's just it's really neat. And it's actually, I will say this, one of the coolest things is like there's a moment where like in the heat of battle, there'll be like blasters going everywhere and everything, and the team is working together. And you can hit. I think it's like you hit L3 and R3 at the same time, and you call all the guardians to
Oh, I
you,
saw that.
and they
Yeah.
need like a pep talk, and you have to decide what to tell them. And if you tell them something that doesn't hit as well, they won't perform that great. But if you
Okay.
tell them something that amps them up, they'll be like, hell yeah. And they'll go out there and the music, this 80s music starts playing. I want to play it now just
Well, like
talking about it.
actually 80s tracks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, dude, it's great.
uh,
And it gets you so fucking hyped, man. And so you're over there blasting aliens away. And a little good, a little bad. That shit's rock,
that's
dude.
awesome.
Awesome. I
Oh
want to go back and
man.
play it now. But
Yeah, you're hyping up pretty much. I
yeah,
kind of
it's
want to
great.
buy it.
Yeah, dude, it's great, great game. But anyway, but definitely, if you haven't checked it out, check it out, Jan. So the people out there, if you haven't checked it out, don't miss that game because you'll enjoy it. Jan, what's your next one, man?
Awesome. So, I kind of have a good segue into this, since you opened with Marvel. I have let's say four comic elements here, right? Because at first I wanted to show, like, when we're showing comics on just games, I want to show something for like each continent, that's that I'm of which comics I'm familiar with. Those being, Asia, mostly Japan, Europe, mostly France and Italy, and of course the Americas. But we're not doing that right now because I remember like a fourth thing to show, my favorite superhero ever, right? And that is yours truly, Spider-Man. So what we have here is I actually have more things, so I'm gonna speed run through them. So this is a very very cool comic. It's like a one volume, one shot comic
Yeah.
called Spider-Man Life Story. I told you about this. I told Dylan
Yep.
about this. It's a fantastic idea. So what it is, it's pretty much it kind of resumes all of the highlights of Spider-Man, right? All of the big greatest stories. The symbiote, Craven's Last Hunt. The whole Miles Morales situation, all of that, and it tries to make sense timeline wise.
Hmm.
So the comic starts in the 60s. That's when Peter Parker was a teenager, gets bit by a spider, because that's when the first comic was released. And then the time actually marches on for Peter. Like in the main comics when he's like perpetually in his early 30s, right?
Hmm.
By some point, right?
Hmm.
He married Mary Jane sometime in the 90s, I think, and
Right.
he hasn't aged since. Um, so here they actually try to they even make historical contests, right? In the late 60s, you have the Vietnam War. I, being ignorant and not being American, I'm not as familiar with the whole situation, but they actually try to segue into it. You have, Spider-Man, he doesn't know how to feel about Captain America participating in it.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
it's very nice. Well, actually, you know what I'm doing here? I'll show you. So this is Cap. This Cap, fighting the in Vietnam, um, and there's the whole clone thing. You got clone, and the picture is great. Like
Yeah. The art style is
the
awesome.
the art is fantastic. Same guy who did Ultimate Spider-Man. A lot
Oh,
of people
okay.
like to see an Ultimate Spider-Man, but you cannot deny that it looks fantastic.
Awesome.
It
Yeah.
looks great. It looks awesome. Uh, and again, he tries to put the context and everything. So when the Black Symbiote saga starts, they tie it into the fact that he's getting older. So he's getting older. He feels slower. He feels weaker. And here comes a symbiote that kind of gives him what he's missing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very
Yeah.
smart. It's very smart. It's fantastic.
So how
And that
old
end.
is how old is he? So according to that, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Uh-huh.
how old is he when the symbiote? According to this story, how older does he?
Uh,
Is it when
well, let me
he
see
interacts
that.
with the symbiote?
Well, let me see that. We're here with the symbiote. We're in the 90s. So
Okay.
if he's a teenager in the 60s, that means about 30 years have passed. Yeah, he's going on 50. He's going
Wow.
on 50 when the symbiote hits. And by the end, I'm not gonna spoil the ending. It's very emotional. It's as if it's obviously non-canon because it's not
Hmm.
part of the main canon. But if this were the ending, like if there were an ending to Spider-Man, like to the main saga, I'd be super happy at it. Dylan, I'm telling you, if you find this like even digitally, read it. It's a very fast read. There's even like a whole part about J. Jonah Jameson and about how his relationship with Spider-Man changes. It's great. It's very emotionally mature. And I'm telling you, that ending, it's a tearjerker.
Okay.
I don't I don't cry a lot. I'm not trying to be like a boys don't cry kind of person. I just really don't, especially when it comes to like fiction. As much
Of
as I
course.
love stories, I love stories, and I get very emotional about them. Rarely do I cry. With this,
Yeah.
I cried, dude. It's fantastic. I
Good deal.
cannot stop sucking up. Spider-Man Life Story, one of the best superhero comics ever. So I got that. Then I'm just gonna show you off some things. I'm not gonna say. I know I said that I'm gonna flex, but I'm kind of flexing here.
Hmm.
This is a set called Unmasked,
Hmm.
Spider-Man Unmasked,
Yeah.
and it has four stories
Oh
in
wow.
which four different stories, all hardcover, uh, in which Spider-Man got unmasked. So
Hmm.
you got the very first one, and every time they managed to retcon it somehow. So you have the very first one, which came out. Well, I don't want to say something that which came out in the '60s, when he gets unmasked by Doctor Octopus, of all people. So
Right.
these are the kind of comments you've seen. It's
Yeah.
very nice, dude. Very nice quality.
Yeah.
Uh, then you have Happy Birthday here, which actually I remember I had this. I lost it, but I had this as a kid in a
I've
paperback
definitely seen that one. I
version.
feel like I've definitely seen that cover. Yeah.
Dude, it's one of the best. It's one of the best ones. It's the one. This is where I first when the stories introduced me to Doctor Strange. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange team up, and they fight against Dormammu or whatever, however the hell you
Oh,
pronounce it.
Dormammu.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of it's very existential. Like due to a spell or something, Peter gets to starts fighting all his like worst enemies, right? He kind of gets to
Yeah.
relive his worst moments. And
That's such an
what else?
interesting team up, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, isn't it?
Oh, it happens way more often than you think. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. I don't know if you've seen. I'm sorry. He's right here.
Yeah, yeah,
And he has ooh, and in the video game Spider-Man, you have the Last Stand outfit. This is where it's from. Because in a point, there's this one point. I'm kind of spoiling here, but there's this one
It's
point when
it's okay.
he's kind of in like in a time, not even time loop. It's like in a time fissure, right?
Hmm.
And he sees the moment that he got bit by the spider and the point where he's going to die at the same time. He sees, yeah, here they are. This iconic vignette. So this is him being kind of in between timelines, and this is
Yeah.
him, getting bit by a spider. I don't know how well you can see him, but this is him with a Last Stand outfit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see it.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's the one
Holy
from the game.
shit, that's cool.
That's where they got it from.
That's cool, man.
This also has a very cute ending. It's not the tearjerker that the other one has, but it's very cute ending. Very cute ending. Then you have other ones. You have, I think it's called One Other Day in English. It's one of the most controversial stories ever. It kind of sucks huge dick. It's terrible. It pretty much not retcons, but it's like a desperate attempt to continue Peter Parker's story, even when it doesn't have to be. Pretty much, to make it short, Peter Parker makes a deal with the devil to bring he lost his secret identity, right? Everyone knows he's Peter Parker. He wants it back, but and Mephisto, he tells him, well, if you want that, I can make it happen for you.
Oh, wait a
He's
minute.
like,
Wait 1 second. Wait, hold on. Let me stop you real quick. So
there's
is that
Mephisto.
that's
There is.
awesome because I think I remember when No Way Home was announced, right? And we knew, like, just to take it back to the MCU for a minute, when Spider-Man had his identity revealed, there was like a big rumor going around that maybe they would tell that story in the MCU, but it's
That
Mephisto,
story,
right?
yeah.
Mephisto's the
Yeah.
devil, so I don't see them doing that. That's cool. That's really cool. I don't know why I didn't
So
put that
yeah,
together. Yeah.
and basically what Mephisto wants in exchange is his marriage. So he wants. So what happens? He and Mary Jane, they kick him up on that offer, and I think that Mary Jane's even pregnant. So so they have like a baby on the way. So they have like a whole life ahead of them, and they give up all of that so that Peter Parker can keep being Spider-Man, which kind of makes sense. That's something he would do, but it's such a convoluted bullshit reason to to reboot pretty much the comic, right? And then have the fourth one called actually I think they have the original title somewhere here. One moment in time. I don't know what it's about because I haven't read it yet. So I don't want to spoil it too much. But it looks like, again, don't these covers look amazing?
Awesome,
I love them.
dude.
I love them so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah.
So there's that. Has been a gift. I wouldn't dream of buying this. I'm glad I don't know how much it costs.
Yeah.
And then the last one
It looks expensive.
Yeah, the last one, another Spider-Man box, and this one is The Life and Death of Superior Spider-Man. So it has I don't know if you know what Superior Spider-Man is.
Yeah, it's Doc Ock, isn't it?
Yes, it's the dumbest shit ever. So it's Doc Ock, and this is the whole story.
Oh, that's cool.
From beginning to end. They're not hardcover. They are
yeah, they're like trades. Yeah,
they're a trade, but they look nice. They look nice enough.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much what they did, they just put the whole saga in one box. And again, I know the Superior Spider-Man is kind of shit on it, but I think it's important to have it, right? And I with knowing that people don't like it, so knowing that it's not great, I even enjoyed it because I didn't have like high expectations.
Yeah.
So I was like, and it was all right. So yeah, this is not my whole Spider-Man collection, obviously, but this is like these are the highlights.
That's cool. I just didn't like the Superior Spider-Man suit that much. Is that the same suit? No,
in the games it is.
I didn't like the suit like in period, but
You
like
know?
is that the same suit that has like which Spider-Man suit? I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna look kind of illiterate here. The Spider-Man suit that has like a toe on the foot, like there's actually like an apps like a toe,
like a sole,
it has
like a shoe.
well, it has like on Spider-Man's foot. There's like a I don't know if it's like a claw or a
Oh, I know what you mean.
what suit
Um,
was that? I don't remember what that was. It's not
I know what
Superior
you mean.
though.
I
It's
don't like that. Yeah, it's not superior. I don't like that either. I don't know which one it is though.
okay, my bad. So, but
So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Superior Spider, but I thought that was kind of interesting, like with the whole like
it
Doc Ock
it's
and
so weird. Dude, it gets weird. Like when people talk about it, they say it's weird, and they tell you how it gets weirder.
yeah,
It's pretty much like a Doc Ock in Peter Parker's body. Well, he's living Peter Parker's life. He kind of messes up all his relationships. He falls in love with a little person. He gets into he gets into a fight with Aunt May's new husband. It's insane.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's pretty wild. Like that's the thing. Like let's just go off of that. Like that's kind of weird. So I don't know if I would want that completely, but I would love to see a Doc Ock that's very like sinister. You know what I mean? We keep getting
mm-hmm,
Doc Ock where he's a villain in one minute and he's like good the
mm-hmm.
next. I know it's
That's
the
true. Yeah.
conflicting thing, right? It's the confliction between like like the Sam Raimi movies, like
Mm-hmm.
the arms were kind of messing with his nervous system and his neurological systems
He's
and everything.
conscious, pretty much. Yeah.
So like that's why like he starts to has this confliction and he leans more on that side and then he ends up being good by the end. But I'd like to see a Doc Ock just like effing up
Straight up
Spider-Man's
villain.
day all the time, kind of like in the Spider-Man game. In the Spider-Man game, I thought they did a good job with that, with him
He's
being
an
like
asshole. Yeah.
later Sinister Six, and by the end of it, you can tell he's still a problem. That's why, like in the third game, hopefully in the third Spider-Man game, he should have another villainous part in it. You know, which I'm kind
That
of
would be
excited to
cool.
see.
Because yeah,
So
in the comics, he's kind of an asshole.
yeah,
He really is. Uh, one last thing I'm gonna tell about Superior Spider-Man. One thing that I really liked. So usually I was just enjoying the ride.
mm-hmm.
One part that I thought was really cute. It's kind of corny, but I liked it, and I don't mind spoiling it because who the hell's gonna be mad about getting spoiled Superior Spider-Man? So by the end, of course, Peter Parker regains his body, right? He's like somewhere back here, right? He's subconscious. And pretty much what happens is that Doc Ock kind of realizes that this shit is too hard for him. Like he cannot handle this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Peter Parker's subconscious is constantly fighting Doc Ock's, trying to take over. But in the end, Doc Ock kind of gives in. He gives up. He lets it go, and he tells him, in kind of an emotional but very corny way. He tells him, "You know what? After living your life for a few months, I realize how difficult this is. How soul crushing it is, and I gotta give it to you. You for being able to meet it for this long. That makes you the superior Spider-Man." Kind of corny, but I kind of like the idea that only Peter Parker can do it the way he does it. Of course, no shame in having other Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I love the concept. I know it's a very it's a strange story arc, but I do like a more sinister Doc Ock, and I hope we can see that in more media, here forward. But I don't know at this rate.
No,
The MCU sucks ass, so who cares? No, that's cool. And you know what? That's great. And I'm not trying to copy you tit for tat, but you showed some comics. I actually have some comics too, but you already know what I'm going to show you. So, to you guys that are done with The Walking Dead, I'm sorry. I'm still a cuck for The Walking Dead. I actually have another thing too. You can probably already see it, but I want to show it. I want to show it off. My sister bought it for me because it's a pretty expensive Blu-ray collection for The Walking Dead TV show. And I love showing it off. I actually reached out to AMC, the company, because I love The Walking Dead and I wanted to get one and review for the channel. They shut me out and gave it to a guy who hates The Walking Dead. So fuck AMC, but whatever. I want to talk about The Walking Dead a little bit. I always
what am I seeing, Dylan?
This is actually, well, I'm getting to it. This is actually issue number 1 of The Walking Dead. Now, this is the deluxe cover. There's several variant covers for issue number 1. And this is all in color, obviously, like most covers for The Walking Dead. And it's a variant cover. So it's like the iconic first Walking Dead cover. I was trying to find it earlier, but I I did not organize this shit, so I just did not have time to look for it. But this cover is actually just a mock cover of the original Walking Dead cover, where you have Rick with the shotgun and the walkers are surrounding him. This is just a different variant cover of that same original cover. And this is actually part of the deluxe series that I was talking to you guys about. I've talked to Jan about it several times, but you guys, they are re-releasing the Walking Dead comics all in color, and this is the first one. And actually, I taped this up, so I haven't really opened it in a while, so I might not do that. But the entire first issue in color. Did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I have a question for you because I do have my own Walking Dead collection. I have like the 8 omnibuses.
Yeah.
Omnibusi. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
You know the ones, and because I just wanted to read. I want to get into it, so I just I saw those big guys and I just bought them. I did see, at least over here, there is they call it colored edition or something like that. Well, you're calling that the deluxe edition. Is there a difference?
So the colored and deluxe should be the same. They just call it deluxe
Okay.
over here. I don't know if they call it colored where you're at, but in here it's like deluxe. So the deluxe is the
Okay.
same as the colored. And
But
so
that's it. It's just okay.
Yeah, they just put it on the color, and that's what you're seeing. A lot of what all this is on the shelf here is all the colored editions. But it's I got a bunch of them still waiting for me, and I couldn't keep up with reading them over again because I just got busy. But here's a couple others. This is Alpha. This is Alpha. Let me make sure I hold it up a little bit. This is Alpha from The Walking Dead. This is one of the last villains you actually come across in The Walking Dead, and she's leader of the Whisperers. I love Alpha in the comics. She's terrifying in the show, not so much. But and then you got the goat himself, Negan.
Of course.
You got Negan right there.
Oh man, he looks evil in that one.
Looks very evil, and he's very he's very twisted in the comics. And I think obviously there's a human side of him as well. I mean, he is human, but it's a more of a he cares about people, and you start to see that. But when you first meet him, he's a monster. As Jan knows, he's a very nasty being, but he has a couple rules, right? Don't sleep with his 12 wives, and absolutely no raping of any kind or sexual harassment, because he'll shut that shit down, like he says in the show.
Awesome, man. That looks so good.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. And I wish I could show more, but I got so many. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah.
Here is the Walking Dead TV show collector's edition. The entire show, 11 seasons. And I got this from my sister. This is a $200 box set. And I tried to get it from AMC, and they were being dicks. But there's Rick and Negan. There's Negan right there. Rick right there. Two of the greatest characters of any TV show ever. And I believe that's Shane down here and Maggie right there. There's the other side, a nasty looking zombie. Awesome.
Walker, you mean?
Walker, yeah. You can't say zombie in this universe, you're right. And then there is Sophia. In the show, Sophia dies in season 2. In the comic, Sophia lives all the way to the very end. But she turns into a walker in season 2, and it's one of the most iconic scenes of the entire show. It's one of the greatest scenes. Where, just to paint a picture for you, and you guys who've watched this, you probably know, Jan, just to give you a little bit of insight. So essentially, Sophia goes missing. Excuse me, at the beginning of season 2, and for half the season, the characters are looking for her. They stay stationed this barn, but they're like, the mother is obviously part of their group, and she's crying every day. She wants somebody to find her daughter. So you have a character every day looking for her, and they can't seem to find her. They don't know where she went. Well, anyway, they're living at this farm, and there's this barn at the farm, and this barn is full of walkers. So when they open the doors, you got walkers coming out, and obviously the characters doing their thing, killing all of them. But then the last walker that comes out is the little girl that they've been looking for, and they've been staying at that farm for weeks and didn't know she was there. So she comes out, and nobody else can put her down except for, who do you think? Rick Grimes. And it's one of the greatest scenes of all time. But just to kind of finish up this part, take the box off there, and then we have, I think this is the back half of the show. So I want to say this is like season 7 through 11, I believe. I think I know Roman numerals, I think.
Yes, it is 7.
There's the first Walker, the Walker girl with the. I think she's got the little stuffed bunny or whatever in her hand, and there's the governor. There's the governor from the TV show. All the Walkers. I think that's Alpha right there. That's Beta. Beta is Alpha's right hand man. Um, I love this show and I love these characters. And then you have seasons 1 through 6, and the girl right there is Judith, Rick's daughter. Well, it's actually Shane's daughter because Shane was sleeping with his wife. So, but Rick considers her his daughter. So there she is right there. She's got the cowboy hat on, and then the samurai sword from Michonne, because Michonne and Rick are together in the comics. There's Rick and Maggie again, and then you have all the star-studded cast that you love, and it's a great collector set. And when I saw this, I gave my sister a big hug, and I told her, "Thank you so much for giving me something I really wanted, because this is something that I didn't know if I would ever pay for because it's more on the expensive side." But I'm so glad that someone loves me enough to do that. So I know Walking Dead is not a very popular thing to talk about anymore, but it's a passion of mine. I love the series. I love the world, and I wish more people didn't bash me for my likes.
I mean, it's an important part of pop culture. I mean, it brought zombies back.
Dude.
It brought zombies back when no one was scared of them anymore.
Right. Yeah.
He managed to make them scary again. It's incredible what
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I get it. Like, okay, like, did the show go on too long? Probably. You know what I mean? Did the comics go on too long? Probably. But it wasn't like the worst thing on television. Everybody was acting like it was so bad, and it was more popular to make fun of The Walking Dead than to like it. And I understood the criticisms. But I'm kind of like, if you guys, and I'm gonna say it again, Jan, I'm sorry. If you guys thought the HBO Last of Us TV show was good, then I don't want to hear shit about my Walking Dead, because I think The Walking Dead takes a fat, juicy dump on what they did over at HBO, and that's just my honest opinion. Anyway, I love The Walking Dead. Jan, thank you for listening to my Walking Dead spiel, because I don't think a lot of people. I try not to bring it up much because everybody just tells me how stupid I am that I still watch it. So, or that I love it, that I still love it. So,
I'm gonna tell you this, dude. Okay, first off, those deluxe editions look clean as hell. First off, I was taken aback because I really liked the volume 1 cover, the original. Rick.
Yeah.
He's he's like looking back, and he's like, there's like, I really like that.
Yeah.
But they look like the deluxe edition looks clean as hell. It looks very high quality.
Yeah.
And it's kind of makes me wanna read it actually to the end, from beginning to end. Because I stopped at some point. I don't know why, but this is definitely gonna make me read it.
Please get back into it so I can talk to somebody about it, man.
Dude,
I love the source material. I love the source material. I love the comic. I've read the comics before the show, and I think the comics have a more concise story. There's not a whole lot of other things going on. It's just one concise story. It's either Rick and company or it's someone directly involved with Rick, and that's how the story is. And the comics are way darker. There's some really dark shit that happens in the comics that doesn't happen in the show. And the show's pretty dark too, but obviously on a medium like comic books, it goes into great detail. And I just wish more people would take the time to see what The Walking Dead has to offer. So anyway, that's my spiel. That's all my Walking Dead stuff I'll give today. Oh wait, one more thing. I will say this one more thing, and then and we'll move on. While I was on my Walking Dead kick, this is The Walking Dead, the first season. I actually bought this from a flea market for like $20 years ago. This is just the first season. At the time, before I had all the seasons in this collector's edition, I was having all the individual seasons. And right now, if you weren't buying them when the seasons were coming out, they're a bit more expensive. So I was going to like flea markets and pawn shops and stuff. I found this for like $20. Again, this is probably like a $40 Blu-ray set. And just to show you real quick, is actually half of it is the comic characters, and then the other half is the live action versions of the characters.
That's awesome.
I thought that was pretty neat. So anyway, that's all I got. That's all The Walking Dead I got. I'll shut up. I won't say anything else about it. That's it.
Dude, don't let them shut you up. Dude, that shit's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So love The Walking Dead, and that's the last I'll show of it. So what's the next thing you got, Jon?
Okay, you know what? You've shown some Blu-rays, and actually, I wasn't sure whether to show them or not, but I have some Blu-rays. I'll just, I'll give a quick. I'll show quickly my favorite ones. I have right here. I'm going to show you like two collections specifically. I don't care about all this shit falling over. I'll put it in place at some point.
Hell yeah. Who cares? Just throw that shit in the floor. Who cares?
Okay, so first up, I'm going to start with something that you are probably into as well. This is right here. Every single Spider-Man movie.
Hell
on
yeah.
Blu-ray. All of them.
Throw
all
that
of them.
Tom Holland trash in the toilet. Throw that all that in the
Dude,
toilet. Everything else
I
you're fine.
would, dude. I would, but yeah, I gotta have them for archiving purposes.
Yeah, you do. You're right. You're right.
So first off, we got
Oh
the
yes.
whole trilogy, the Raimi trilogy, and look how good this is, dude.
Oh man.
Dude, okay, so you got the first one, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the second one, and the third one has the black suit.
Oh.
Like, is that sick or what?
This is my gift, my curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man. Woo! Man, that shit's crap. Man, that shit slaps, man. Oh, dude.
Love them. It's incredible that they managed in a zeitgeist when superhero movies were the laughing stock of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi managed to make masterpieces, actual masterpieces.
Awesome.
Even
the third one. Even the third one. I like the third one, even though it's got problems.
Underrated. Yeah, overhated. Definitely.
Dude.
Then we got
real quick before you move on from that.
Go ahead.
We're talking about Spider-Man 3, dude. That scene where at the very end of the movie when Sandman is apologizing for what happened to his uncle. That scene gets me so fucking teared up, man. It's so good.
Forgive you.
And I forgive you. Whew. Oh.
It's good. It's good. Like it's good. Good is good.
Oh man.
People tend to make God, I don't know how to. There's a saying in Italian. I don't know how to say in English, but they tend to make the overgeneralize, right? They tend to they say something is generally bad, and so they overlook all the good that there is in something, right? Spider-Man 3 has there's a lot of goofy stuff, a lot of it, but there's a lot of good in there that's kind of getting buried, right? Getting buried by even now that I see that the movie is getting kind of reevaluated, mostly by like younger generations, but it's slowly become kind of a meme for saying, haha, funny Spider-Man dance. And I'm glad it's like being hated, but they're still missing the big picture. They're missing the good that there is in this movie. Okay. So moving on. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, right? Okay, this one I won't let anyone shit on. It's a fantastic movie. This one you can't shit on it because it really falls off. But
I like it though. I like it.
But I like it. I would watch it any day. And I'm gonna tell you what, best depiction of Spider-Man's love story.
Definitely.
Right then. As much as the Ray movies are good, MJ is terrible in that one. Here we got, first off, Emma Stone. I just love her. I love Emma Stone, right? I just watched Kinds of Kindness the other day.
Yeah.
She's great in that one too. I love her, and I love the relationship, and I love what they did with, spoilers, I guess, Gwen Stacy's death. It's a fantastic scene. That one scene is worth the entire movie. This movie is worth existing for that one scene.
Dude,
and he's like, and Andrew Garfield, he's a great actor. He sells it. He's sobbing. He's rolling. He's like, you can barely understand what he's saying. He's going, please don't go. Please don't go. I cannot do this without you.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Shit's awesome, dude. Oh, and just to go off of that scene, that whole clock tower scene is some of the best Spider-Man shit I've ever seen. Like when he's fighting the Goblin in the clock tower, that was some of the best movement I've ever seen. And then also too, like when he goes to die for Gwen and he shoots the web out and the web opens up like a hand. It was so fucked, dude. It's great shit. Tom Holland's movies are trash. They're so trash. They're so garbage. Fuck him.
Speaking of those, look what I got here. So let's get through these one by one, huh? So
I guess
we got Homecoming. Homecoming was okay. Just a few words. Homecoming was okay. When I first saw it, it was okay. It was a parody compared to the other ones, but it was okay.
Vulture was cool.
Vulture was cool. I like the scene. You gotta admit, the scene where they're in the car. So he finds out Vulture is Liz's dad,
Yeah.
and they're in the car scene, and like Vulture doesn't know who Peter is, of course, but Liz just starts like giving him away because he's saying, "Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? I mean, you weren't there," and like the Vulture's kind of tightening the grip on the steering wheel. Just
Hmm.
looking back, that scene is great.
Yeah.
That scene is great. That's it. That's all the praise I'm giving for that movie. I hate that Spider-Man has become Iron Man Junior.
Yeah.
I hate it on so many levels.
Uh,
I mean, even the cover. What is this, dude? What it? This sucks. This is great actually because it reflects the quality of the movie. It ref- what is this? Spider-Man swinging through Venice. By the way, what is he holding on? By the way,
yeah.
Venice doesn't have skyscrapers. What is he holding?
What is he holding on to?
Mm. Yeah, and then you have like the heads, the big heads that like all Hollywood
Yeah.
posters have. It
They keep
sucks
doing
ass.
that. It's so
At least
bad.
they tried. At least they tried here. They have something, right?
That's actually the first time I've seen the homecoming cover that you have. I actually do like that
Yeah.
cover. That's a good one. That's pretty
It's
good.
good, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
And need I say anything? What
Yeah.
is this cover? They managed to make a one that's worse than Far From Home. It's
Hmm.
you know what it looks like? It looks like they actually managed to. It looks like a what do you call a candid shot? It looks like a candid shot of Tom Holland and whatever actor's name is on set. They're trying the suits on, they're like all that, and they're like say cheese. What? That's what this looks like.
Yeah, look at the
It
way
will be
Spider-Man. Yeah, the way Spider-Man's standing. It's like,
yeah. It's like what?
yeah,
There's like this like saying, oh man, you guys gonna. I think we need to like a resize here. What to say about the movie? The first half is absolute garbage, uh, and the second part is only good because Andrew Garfield and Toby Maguire, and
yeah,
the relation, like the way the Spider-Man interact with each other, is actually very good.
very good.
It's fun, and it's actually kind of it has a good emotional depth. I feel like they
Yeah.
help him cope with, spoiler alert, Aunt May's death.
Hmm.
That part is great. Those 15 minutes, because that part is very short. I don't think you realize I recently rewatched this
Hmm.
because I rewatched it with my roommate recently, and at some point during the first 30 minutes, when they're pretty much the whole first half of this movie is just them setting up the back end in the most stupid, convoluted, right? The most bullshit reason why, right? And Electro doesn't even know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. What sense does it make that he's here?
Yeah. Right.
Whatever.
Right. Correct. Yes.
Whatever. I remember, like, I was actually kind of trudging on, but then my roommate, he kind of put his hand on my shoulder. He says, "Jan, please keep to like the end part. I cannot do this anymore. Right? Please skip it." Um, so yeah, that tells it. Like, you can like No Way Home, but you can like any of these movies, and I think No Way Home has its merit. Oh, by the way, right here, it says the best Marvel movie ever. What the hell? By one Scott Menzel of We Live Entertainment.
Wow.
Menzel, what are you smoking?
Yeah, dude. I mean, so are we just gonna forget about Logan? We're gonna forget about the Wolverine. We're gonna forget about
Oh,
X-Men 1. We're gonna forget
all
about
of these other ones?
yeah, all the yeah, exactly. I mean, you won't forget.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay,
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't turn into AVGN over here. I don't want to do that, but these are legends.
Right. Oh yeah, those are
What
classics, dude.
what
I
else to
mean,
say?
yeah,
Fantastic, fantastic.
they're
Cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Cannot wait.
definitely, definitely.
By the
Hey,
way,
but I will say though, I will say this. I watched the second one not too long ago.
this one.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Across the Spider-Verse.
I didn't like it as much as I did the first time I watched it.
Oh,
I don't know why. I just felt
how
like it
come?
kind of like all right. So in my opinion, I felt it might have felt different in the movie. So I was so hyped for it, and it did live up to that hype. And the soundtrack
Hmm.
is amazing. The soundtrack is awesome.
The
The
animation?
character moments are great. The animation is awesome. But I did feel like it kind of the pacing was a bit slow.
It dragged
It's
on.
the second time around, but maybe it was just the mood I was in. But I watched it again. Actually, I watched it as soon as I got the Blu-ray, and I was just like, you know what, man? I thought this movie was like for me, it was like, holy shit, this might be like one of the best Spider-Man movies that I've
Hmm.
seen. Like it might be, and I still think it's high up there. But I was still kind of like, it's a bit slow, a bit slower than I would have liked, but
And it's still like a
still great.
two-parter.
It's still, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Um, you know what? I can't agree with that, but
Oh yeah.
I can understand that.
When's the last time you watched it?
This year, I think, like in January or something.
Okay, so you watched it recently. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. When I bought the Blu-ray, pretty much. No,
Yeah.
actually, it was recent. It was April. Sorry, it's April. That's when the Blu-ray
Oh
came out.
wow, well,
Yeah.
that's really recent. Well, like I said, maybe I need to
Was it
watch it. I
April?
just I just felt like it was a bit slower than I remember, but
Hmm.
it's still great. It's still a great movie,
Yeah. By the way,
obviously.
we didn't say, but these cover arts are okay. They're cool. There's one for okay. One thing that I hate about Blu-rays is that you know how they make Blu-ray and there's like DVD for a movie, then there's a Blu-ray, and then there's a 4K Blu-ray, like the Ultra HD, whatever it is that they call it, and they have like a different cover art for each one of them.
Hmm.
And usually the Ultra HD one, which costs like what, 40 euro, is has the best one. It has a very cool cover. It's Miles with his mask on,
Hmm.
and you can see in the reflection of his eye all the other Spider-Man kind of coming to get him, with
Yeah,
Miguel O'Hara in the forefront with his claw out. I'm kind of mad I don't have that one.
I actually have that one actually, but I don't have it
Uh,
sit on my desk. But I do have that one. Yeah,
that's
and
cool. That's cool.
I've been buying a lot like like excuse me, movies that I really love. I've been trying to get them all on 4K. I actually have a pretty decent 4K collection. We might have to maybe do that for a show or something. Go through like, I mean, maybe show maybe our movie collections or whatever. But I
I'm
actually have a
showing
pretty extensive
I'm
4K, so
showing most of it here. Just I don't collect much movies,
I understand.
but
That's cool.
so I only have a few besides the ones. Okay, the other ones I'm gonna show, and then again I'll give you the stage to you. Is you do know about Studio Ghibli, Dylan?
Studio what?
Uh, Ghibli, or sometimes pronounced Ghibli. It's this Japanese animation studio. The head is Hayao Miyazaki. Made one of the most popular animation movies ever. Like he kind of popularized Japanese animation movies in the West with Spirited Away. Got even an Oscar
Oh
for
yeah,
best animated picture. And and I have these are obviously not all of them, just my favorite ones. Minus Porco Rosso. This one I really like, but it's not here. And I just want to take like just 3 minutes to say that these movies are great. The animation is very nice, not in the sense that Spider-Man is researched. This one is very it's great. It's fantastic. Like it's very detailed, but it's more so sweet. But I don't want to downplay it. It feels like nostalgic. It feels like
hmm
home. And the stories are just very heartwarming.
hmm
They're very all different, but they're mostly all about uh, most at least in my eyes, finding the magic in the mundane, finding the magic in everyday life. So I'm just gonna go through them very quick.
oh
Castle
yeah,
in the Sky, my favorite one. Love this cover. These are the main characters right here. And there's things Castle in the Sky. Fantastic soundtrack. It's one of the older ones. It kind of shows its age, but I think in a charming way.
yeah,
I love the back. This is a robot giving a flower to the main protagonist. It kind of gives you the tone of it. I think that honestly, especially with a daughter in the way, these are great movies to watch with your kids. These are great. I remember my dad actually introduced me to them when I was like between 8 and 12,
yeah,
and I'm really grateful for him. And the soundtracks are very, dude. Those soundtracks, they they're soulful. They're soulful. We keep seeing great soundtracks, but these ones, dude. When I'm
yeah,
feeling down, when I'm having a rainy day, I listen to these and they fill me with hope, and they fill me with happiness that I'm alive, and they remind me of all the great things that I can experience because I have been born into this world. And
yeah,
I'm not down. I'm not overhyping it.
yeah.
Next one,
Wow.
a bit of a cute one. It's Kiki Delivery Service. It's about a witch. it's about a young witch, and all young witches have to kind of have to, as a kind of a rite of passage, they have to move into another town away from their parents when they're like 13, I believe. Yes, 13, and they kind of have to, again, it's rite of passage. They have to show them to themselves they can live by themselves. They can like make something out of themselves, right? They're independent.
Mhm.
And she manages. She's kind of a klutz, very anime protagonist, but she manages to find herself a job at a bakery, being the delivery girl.
Hmm.
That's why it's called Kiki lives. She's delivering you your baked goods on a broomstick. So then there's Princess Mononoke.
That's how I deliver my baked goods is an old
Pretty
broomstick.
much, yeah.
The Nimbus
Princess
3000.
Mononoke. Yeah, this one you should not watch with your kids. It's very, very violent. I remember my dad actually showed this to me when I was very young. It shocked me. In the first 5 minutes, a guy shoots an arrow, misses the shot, so he doesn't hit the head, but he hits both arms of a guy, rips them out, and like it's super violent. But it's also a very nice story. It's a story about the environment, about the man's relationship with nature. Very good. Very, very good. I actually if you're gonna watch one, watch this.
Okay.
That's my. Then there's the one I talked about, Spirited Away, which if you're gonna
Yeah.
watch two, watch Prince Mononoke and this one. Uh, it's for most of these, I'm not saying the plot because it's less about the plot and more about the whole vibe of it, right?
Hmm.
It's about a girl getting lost in a spirit world. Her parents are turned into pigs, and in order to, because they acted as pigs, that's
Hmm.
what I'm gonna say about that.
Right.
And in order to break the curse, she has to work. She has to work in the spirit world, and shenanigans ensue.
Right.
Howl's Moving Castle. It's actually based on an English novel, although it's very loosely based. It's about a young girl named Sophie, who she's a hatter, and she gets cursed by a witch. She turns into an old lady. That's why there's an old lady here,
Hmm.
and she doesn't know what to do, right? So, but she heard about this terrible magician called Howl, who lives in a walking castle, and the walking castle is very cool. You can barely see it here, but it's mechanic and it's weird. It has like a bunch of protrusions. It moves in a very unnatural way, very magical. So yeah, there's this. She starts living here pretty much. She seeks help. The problem, yeah, she can't tell about the curse. That's part of it. She cannot tell about it. Every time she tries, her mouth just won't open, right?
Hmm.
Um, this is also very popular. If you're gonna watch three, watch. Actually, you know what? This is my favorite, but I realize that it's not the most iconic. So,
Right.
I mean, this is my personal recommendation, while the other ones I said are the overall recommendations. Then these
Right.
other two I don't like as much. Um, um, you know what? Just forget about them. This one is actually very forget. This one is actually very forgettable.
Right.
It's
Okay.
about what is called. How do you call them in English? It's that one fairy tale about the little girl that's like very small. Um,
You tell Alice in Wonderland?
no, no,
Oh, you
that's
say
not a
oh, it
fairy
is
tale.
really small. Not gets. Oh yeah, not a fairy tale. My bad. I'm
It,
sorry, dude. My
yeah,
bad.
it's that, but
Okay.
it's. I only watched it a couple of times and it didn't really stick with me.
Oh, okay.
Uh, this one is I'd say the first of the. It's called The Wind Rises, and under the wind is rising. I don't know how to translate it, but it's the first of what I call the final era of Miyazaki's movies, and I don't like this final era. I think it's much more grounded,
Hmm.
and and it's not, at least in my opinion. These movies get praised. I just don't like them. I don't feel the magic in them.
Right.
This is mostly about so like Miyazaki, he's a big fan of like planes, of like aviation, and this movie is all
Yeah.
about that. It's set in the in 1927, and it's about that. It's a time of big change. They're making new planes. I don't know. That's where the name of the studio comes out. Studio Ghibli. Ghibli was the name of either a plane or like a group of Italian planes.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Huh.
So yeah, that's me. That's my movie collection. There's a few of them, but this is like the big ones.
Right.
So
Okay.
what you got?
No, yeah, that's a good little collection. Yeah, I used to collect a lot of movies, but I kind of slowed down off of that because of monetary reasons. It sucks because it's a last of a. I think we talked about this before, but really we're the last of a dying breed, man, of having physical media and those kinds of movies. Like honestly, like besides Spirited Away, and I hope this doesn't make me sound not cultured. I have never heard of any of the other ones. So you grabbing a physical copy is awesome because I don't know where else you could see those at, unless maybe they'd be on. I'm not sure about this, so quote I don't know. What's that app called? It's the anime app. What's it called?
Oh,
It's like a streaming app for anime. I don't remember what it's called.
Crunchyroll.
Yes, that's it. Maybe it's on there. Maybe it's there.
I don't know.
But other than that,
they're all on Netflix. They're all on Netflix.
Oh,
At least here in Europe, they're all on Netflix. Yeah. So
okay.
These and a bunch of like niche ones that even I never heard about.
Yeah. Spirited Away. I've definitely heard of. The other ones, not as much.
Yeah, dude, I recommend like again something to watch with the kids, and it's very entertaining for the adults.
Good deal. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to pull my kids away from Disney stuff because I know my wife wants them to watch all the classic Disney stuff. You know, like Hercules, Toy Story, Lion King.
Well, that's cool too. But you can,
yeah.
They can watch those with mom, and you can have your own flair, right? Find your own thing to watch.
Well, with me? They're gonna watch The Walking Dead. What are you talking about? I gotta get them started early.
Right.
But that is cool. No, those are great. All those sound interesting. So yeah, no, I bet. Like I said, the only one I really had heard of was Spirited Away. So it's really cool to get those physical copies because I don't know where else you'd watch them, to be honest with you. So that's pretty cool. Definitely. I might definitely get up with you privately and make sure I get the names of those right so I can get those because I definitely wouldn't mind checking them out. Let's see. Where do I mean, thing is, I don't have any other. So I can't follow you tick for tack now because I don't have any other Blu-rays right here sitting.
Then do whatever.
Let's see. I'll tell you what. Let's switch it up a little bit.
Sure.
So this is kind of on to the first part of this thing is the DualSense Edge controller. Now I brought this out because I know this is fairly new, and I know we were bringing things that we Practicality's got a little bit of a message for you. You trying to? Me. You trying to sometimes kids early with The Walking Dead? Yeah, actually, yes, Russ. Yes, I am. Okay, they have to learn early. They have to learn that it's okay to kill some zombies if you need to. Just
especially even little girl zombies.
That's right. It's be friendly until they try to kill you. Anyway, as I was saying, the DualSense Edge controller. Now I know that we were also going back and looking at some awesome collector's editions, things like that. This isn't obviously a collection edition, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit and kind of show it off because it's quite honestly my favorite controller right now. I don't use it as much as I should because it's so pristine. I don't really want to use it, but I have the case because of this nice case, beautiful white case. Open that bad bitch up, and then there's the controller right there. And it's so nice. It's so premium. And it actually, I don't know why they included this. There's actually so obviously you got your analog sticks. You have a couple paddles. I don't really use those that often because I just don't play a lot of first person shooters or play like competitively. But it comes with this like little switch here. I don't know if I'm trying to get in the light here. Essentially what this does is it's not like it's got a whole lot of detail. It's supposed to keep if you have a cable hooked to your controller, it's supposed to keep the cable from being yanked out of your controller.
Oh.
I don't know how important that is because
it's for those intense gaming sessions, right?
Where you just want to throw
your
shit
when you're like, whoa, come on, get in there,
get in there.
You fuck him up.
He's coming through the back door. He's coming. Have you seen those videos?
I don't know what
Have
you're
you
talking
seen this?
about. No.
So like, all right, so like the whole thing is like when you got these people play a lot of like battle royale games, and they'll be playing with their buddies. Well, like you
Yeah.
have these wives recording them in the background, and
Okay.
the things these guys are saying in the microphone sounds kind of
Ambiguous. Okay.
yeah, and so they
But
say things like
he's coming to the
he's
back door.
coming on me, he's coming to the back door on me, he just splattered all over me, like stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
And so yeah, but anyway, but there's the controller though. Again, I know it's nothing special. I just thought it was kind of cool. I love this controller. It feels so pristine. I just don't really want to use that often. But it has all your fancy doodads of normal DualSense. But the only thing is the battery life on this is trash, and maybe that's why they gave you the little switch so you keep the cord in it. I think this thing only has like a 2 hour playtime or whatever. So
You're saying that it's worse than the regular DualSense battery life?
correct. Yeah, the DualSense gives you like
Yeah.
2 hours and 30 minutes. This gives you like 2 hours. So, but yeah, it's awesome though. And you got these little switches at the bottom that where you can create a profile for different games you're playing, which I haven't really used that too often. But I mean, it's cool though. So I know it's kind of lame to show off. I was trying to think of things that I use daily. I was also going to bring my other Xbox controller that I use more regularly. It's actually a Starfield controller. It's literally the best part about the whole game is the promotional shit, like the controller, the Xbox skins, the all the shit like that. Because
Kind of telling, huh?
Starfield as a whole is kind of it's not trash, but yeah, I would say the kids say mid nowadays. I would say it's very mid. It's very yeah, it's nothing
Average.
special. Gameplay's good. Exploration kind of sucks, but but anyway, that was another thing I wanted to show. Just thought it was kind of a cool thing. If you can ever afford one, definitely try to pick it up. I know I've seen them on sale over here a couple times.
Dude, you're saying that
so-
it's worth it?
I think I think so. I mean, I just like so me, like I just like premium stuff, and it just has a premium feel to it.
It looks premium.
And like I said, I mean, I play it without the cord hooked to it, and I don't really have to like the playtime is short, but the DualSense has short battery life anyway, so I don't really see a difference. But it feels good. Like it just has a good feel to it. So I don't know. Is it worth $150, $170? Maybe not. But if it goes on sale for $120, I mean, why not?
Well, I might. I don't know. I feel like there's other things I can spend money on. That's just that's what it is.
Well, see, another reason that I had got it, if you guys who've been here with us for a while, I put a actual unboxing video on the channel, and it did really, really well. Unboxings do really, really well for our channel and a lot of people's channels because people just love seeing people open shit. But it's got a premium feel to it. Haven't really changed out the sticks all that much or anything, but it's just it's a quality made controller. And I was waiting, like because we talked about it earlier in the show, like PlayStation for the past few years have done a really good job with the games they've come out with. Obviously, PlayStation in our eyes has had more things to buy for it, but like in more games, obviously. But with the Xbox always had the Series 2, the Series 1, the Series 2 controllers. And I've been waiting for PlayStation to come out with their own like patented controller. And so they finally did. I wanted to check it out. And I brought it on the show just to talk about it. Like it's a very well-made controller. If you can afford it, I think definitely you should grab one. For sure.
Nice. That's the one you can like the one thing that like need. Of course. The only thing that like kind of attracts me to it is the you can they're like back buttons, right? And I think like for like Elden Ring and like Souls in general, I think I would really enjoy mapping one of those buttons. Yeah, mapping one of those buttons to like circle. Because one thing is on Souls games, you have to hold circle to sprint. And so you're holding circle, but you also want to move the camera, right? And it's awkward as hell. So I feel like having that would be a game changer.
Yeah, it would be sick. Yeah, and that's the same thing with like Rise of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin is sprint with circle, and it's kind of frustrating. And I forget that you can change a lot of that stuff with this controller. I don't know how you are. Like I've had a couple Elite controllers at this point, and
I have none.
I just don't get into the customization part of it, even though it would be cool. Like I love customizing my controllers to hell. But so like thing is, I guess like if you're playing a game for a long time, I can see it being beneficial. But like if you kind of finish games kind of quick and you go to the next one, you're constantly changing your inputs. And if you're into that, fine. But honestly, I'm just too lazy. Like I just play with the original controls, unless the controls are just so trash. Like for instance, like in I forgot what game I was playing, but I think Crouch was like right stick. You push it in for it's like R3.
Yeah.
R3
Elden
is
Ring
Crouch.
does that.
I hate that. I absolutely fucking hate
it's
it.
awkward. Yeah.
So I would maybe change it for that. But other than that, I mean, dude, screw it, you know. But anyway, so that's what I got. I know that was kind of quick, but I got a couple more things on the docket, so I want to kind of rush through it. So what's the next thing you got?
Okay. You know what? You're right. I'll be quick with my next one too. And just a little thing. Dylan noticed my PS1 before we started the show, and I do have it. It was actually a gift. My friends gifted it to me, right? And ever since I got it, I kind of want to get into PlayStation 1 game collecting. The problem is that it's very difficult to find like quality ones because they were in those jewel cases, and they break so easily. So like I get on a bunch of like eBay insertions when they're just either straight up broken or missing, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need them to be like as new. I really don't. I'm not that kind of guy. Like they can have like a crack or something. I don't care. They can like open weird. I don't care. But at least have them look decent. And for that reason, I didn't get too many. It's been over a year. I didn't get too many, but I did get a few, and I have 3 in particular that I would like to show. So let me get those real quick. Here they are. So here we got. So you know how Dylan, how you got me into a specific game series as of late.
Yeah, I know which one. Which one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually showed already this on the
Talk
show.
your
I think
shit,
I made a
King.
post about
Talk
it.
your shit. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Obviously, we're talking about Resident Evil.
Oh hell yeah! Look at that Chris Redfield face. Hell yeah,
dude! I love this cover art.
Yeah,
and you know what? It's weird that so usually back in the day, we in these PAL territories, we wouldn't get the American covers. We would get the Japanese ones, right, for Japanese games. This one we got the American cover, and I'm glad because this cover slaps. I love it. Chris looks scared as shit. There's these weird shadows all around. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that. Yeah, it is the platinum version, which is like it's like greatest hits.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't give a shit. First off, I kind of like platinum. It looks sick. And instead of the black label, you get this nice silver label. I kind of FW it.
I like it too. It looks better than the red. It looks better than the red. I like that.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
the silver.
Dude. The American one, not to bash on the American editions, but back then the greatest hits wasn't even red. It was green. It was a horrid like hue of green.
Yeah.
With like a red font. Terrible.
Oh yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wow. You just unlocked a memory of my childhood. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. When I see it, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
We got Resident Evil 2,
Dude.
and for this one, this is the Japanese cover art, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Come on, it looks sick as hell. And this is like extra vintage because you can see this little sticker here. I usually hate stickers, but this kind of gives the vintage because it's. Oh god, this opens easily. It says, special price, 49,900 lira, and lira is a currency that is obsolete.
Oh, wow.
It actually it became obsolete. It was the Italian currency before the euro. They changed it in 2001, and this game came out in what 1998.
Yeah.
So it was only a few years before they changed it, and just because of that, this is one sticker I'm not taking it off because it kind of adds to the value. Again, platinum edition. And you know what? You know what's funny? One funny thing. So obviously, in case you don't know, Resident Evil 2 has 2 discs. One for Leon's campaign and one for Claire's campaign.
Right.
And usually you can tell because the discs have either Leon's big face or Claire's big face in it, right? But the platinum discs are, since I guess because they're a bit cheaper to make, because again, this is like a cheaper copy.
they don't have the faces. They just have like this, the silver discs, and it only says disc 1 of 2 and disc 2 of 2. So just by looking at that, you really wouldn't know which one is Leon's and which one is Claire's. It does say so in the manual, of course. Yeah, remember when manuals were a thing?
Oh,
remember
man.
that?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Remember they would actually use cool and actually have like game tips, and like they have all kind of art.
Yeah.
And they tell you, yeah, I mean, yeah, they have like screenshots and all that, tell you everything about the game. Yeah, this one, it actually tells you. I'm guessing they added it for this release. They're like, okay, put this 1 for Leon, put this 2 for Claire, or whatever. And then of course you top it off with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I mean, you gotta. We got Big Nemi, the big guy, and on the cover here. And this one is a black label, not platinum. And I'm going to show you. Look who we have back here.
Oh, yeah. I see.
One sexy Jill Valentine.
Hell yeah.
I'm a Jill Valentine. I know you're more. You said you were more of a Claire guy.
I think I'm more of Claire. Yeah. Especially the way she looks. Especially the way she looks in the in Resident Evil 2 remake. I just think she's real cute there. But Jill is cute too, man. I mean,
I know.
Her newer model, I like it. Her newer model, I like it.
She's more of a fighter, and I'm into it. Like she's, I really like it. She was a fighter here too, obviously. Just look at that face. This is pure determination in this face, right?
Yeah, pure determination.
And in case you didn't get enough of her, you get some on the disc. Just look at that. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. By the way, fun fact: the subtitle of this game in Japan is not Nemesis; it's Last Escape.
I think I saw.
Yeah, just a little fun fact. But I think it's very curious, isn't it? Curious.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, like I think we've talked about this before. Jan is actually, again, he just talked about it. He's on a big Resident Evil kick right now. You just platinumed Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7.
So
yeah.
Probably a pretty stupid question. So have you played you played the DLC as well, or just the main game?
I was playing it because I was planning to go for a full 100%, like every single trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But as I told you, like I'm in this period where I'm just very tired all the time, and as great as the game is, it's a very tiring game, right? Because it's difficult. You have to think about what you're doing. In that sense, it's taxing. It's mentally taxing, right? It's scary, right? It's very scary. It's not something you play to relax, exactly.
No,
right?
Not at all. It's very stressful.
So I platinumed it, and I feel like, okay, I'll get into the DLC, but for now, I'm satisfied. That's why I'm playing Stranger of Paradise, where I don't have to think too much.
Right. So what about so are you planning on, and I'm not trying to make this a whole Resident Evil conversation, but are you trying to do Resident Evil Village like soon, or are you gonna try to do DLC first and then do Resident Evil
DLC
Village?
First? Definitely. I wanna get the 100% so I can have that behind me and then get to Village.
I think you'll like Village a lot. It's very reminiscent to Resident Evil 4. So if that gives you any inclination, then you'll.
Because you know what, Resident Evil 7, it was okay. I liked it, but I feel like I didn't love it because
the first half was good. The first half was awesome. The second half kind of started to mellow out for me.
But it's kind of too short, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Like it's a bit too simple for my taste. Because like it's obviously like you have a huge house, which is you cannot play it and not think about the mansion from Resident Evil 1. Like it's just impossible, right? But this is just, and it's kind of like that, and I don't mind it. And I don't mind it at all. What is there is good. I just wish there was more of it. And as you said, what we get instead of more house is just, not as good. Like the whole, it becomes very linear at some point, like very linear. And the whole ship part is just, it's just confusing. Like the story is really not as compelling. I feel like it's okay. As again, the first part is great because you have the mystery. You're in this. You have the bakery. Welcome to family, son. That whole dinner scene is very, very. It makes you very uneasy. And but then they start explaining shit to you, and it's not that deep. You realize that okay, whatever. It's just.
I'll tell you one thing, man. Freaking Ethan must really love his wife because, bro, I love my wife, but it's no way I'm going through all that bullshit.
Yeah,
there's no way. I mean, obviously I'm kind of joking, but I mean, dude, that's a lot of bullshit for one person. I mean, she's got to be like,
I mean, that's love, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
what does Courage say? Courage is a cowardly dog. He says, "Oh, the things we do for love, right?" Or something along those lines.
Oh, yeah.
He says something like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a while ago, but no, but I just wanted to see where you were at with your Resident Evil. So you're gonna take a little break and then go back into it. Speaking of taking breaks, though, I'm surprised, bro, and I know this is off the subject. It's just because we're kind of getting to that end here, so I'm just bringing up things. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you completed it, but you still haven't got the platinum. What's the deal with that, you scrub?
I mean, you know what it is? You'd understand if you were at where I'm at. And I'm at the Chadley VR simulated combat. So here's the thing. There's a lot of it. Too much of it. Plain too much of it. Like objectively too much of it. And most of it is just easy as shit. So there's no point, right? The latter half is just. It's just what's the word? It's not challenging as much as it's just. It's not fun. That's what I'm gonna get at. It's just, like I don't want to think about that, honestly. I'll get there. I haven't. I want to. I'm actually doing it midway through my hard playthrough. I was waiting until I unlock all characters on my hard playthrough, and then I get there because like the challenges are the same on all difficulties, so it doesn't matter. So I just want to get done with them and then get to the end game, right? And but yeah, as you said, I took a break. Yeah, thank you, Practicality. Thank you, because it's honestly, I feel like that game would be like game of the year contender if just Chadley wasn't in it. Like it's actually great. I don't know if you follow the socials, but back when the game was still somewhat new, like it was only like a few weeks when it came out, they posted a picture of Chadley, right? And they said, "Oh yeah, aren't you having fun doing Chadley's missions or whatever?" And like all the comments were like super negative. One of the guys said, "Actual final boss of episode."
Actual final boss. Yeah, dude. Fuck him, dude. Yeah, he really hurts that game. I mean, I know he's not like a main character, but he pretty much is because he's like he's kind of around all the time. And Cloud, I noticed you haven't done this in blah blah blah. It's like, dude, get off my dick, would you? I'm trying to like play the game.
Yeah, you can't go 2 steps in open world without hitting it. Oh, Cloud, have you heard about this, that, and the other? This is where Titan resides. And then he makes a girlfriend for himself. Well, it's not really a girlfriend, but he like. Let's be real, right? He probably does get lonely, and he starts fighting with her. Like he's just saying, "Oh, Cloud, you see that? Blah, 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 blah. You should do this and there." And Charlie goes, "Well, or whatever you're called. I told you not to overtake. I told you not to take over or whatever." And then they start fighting while you're like, you're like clawing your way through a battle. Like, guys, I really can't do this right now. And these guys are in your fucking ears.
Dude, it's so bad.
Okay, moving on.
Like when you go, one more thing I'll say about that, because I know we talk about it a lot. I just brought it up because I noticed you hadn't got the platinum, but it's like those sequences where you come up to those encounters. You have these like specific beasts out in the open areas, and like they're talking the entire time, and I don't know what the fuck they're saying at all. Like I'm just kind of like I'm doing something. I'm handling business.
And honestly, for one time, I actually tried to like I tried to focus to see what they were saying, and it's the most irrelevant information man ever came up with. So like,
yeah, fuck that game. I'm still in chapter 9. I'm still in chapter 9, and that's how it's going to stay until I maybe after I beat all the Gears games, maybe I'll have this feeling of going back to an RPG. But
I mean, we have time.
We'll see. So we're kind of running out of time here. I don't want to go like 3 hours long, so we will get moving. But I showed this to Jan, I believe, in the past. This is Final Fantasy 15 Deluxe Edition. I found this again at a retro game store for like $30. Brand new. This was sealed before I opened it. I couldn't help myself. I had to open it because I own this game on Xbox, but I couldn't help myself. And looks awesome. It's got a sleeve. Take the sleeve off, and it has this awesome artwork on it. Awesome. I want to say, I can't really tell. I think it's just a couple different summons on it, I believe. I haven't played 15 in a while, so I can't really remember the story. I know there was a story, but it's like divided into a movie and I think a mini series and an anime
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. But I believe this version actually has the game is on the left, obviously. Then you have your sleeve like you usually do in modern games, and then it also has the full Kingsglaive movie in it as well.
No shot. That's actually cool, man.
So if you wanted to catch up, so if you wanted to catch up on the lore a little bit, I mean, obviously you're not going to get all of it, but if you want to catch up on the lore, you pop in the movie and then play Final Fantasy 15. You know, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and Russ, if he's still here, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. So we need to bring you back on the show, brother. It was a good time when you were on.
I agree. Hard
but I really like the world of 15. I love the aesthetic of Final Fantasy 15. I wish the story was a bit more concise like 16 is, because I really enjoyed 16. I think I said it almost every show that 16 might be one of my favorite games I've played recently. I don't know, it touches my soul. I don't know what it is, just something about it. I don't know if it's just the dialogue that Clive has. I don't know if it's the music. The music moves me like not many other soundtracks here lately. Oh, this is the back as well. Shows Noctis over there, and it has his dad on the, I think it's his dad. His dad on the left.
Noctis is dad. Yeah.
So, but anyway, cool edition. I had to pick it up. I actually have this game for PlayStation and Xbox already. I have it on Xbox digitally, and I think it was like for like $10. I was like, why not? I want to try it out. Honestly, it plays better on Xbox. It does. It's a steady frame rate, and it looks clean as fuck. It does. So I would love to go back to it. I just don't know when it's going to be because, I mean, dude, time is so restrictive. But anyway, that's Final Fantasy 15, and I'll move on from that. While I'm in that same breath, I know there's a couple other things I know Jan was probably going to have as well, but just some honorable mentions. Final Fantasy 16, the deluxe version. I don't think I need to go into too much detail about it because, like I said, it's arguably one of my favorite games of the past few years. But I know Jan has seen this, but it comes with a nice ass steel book. Oh, yeah? Obviously,
I remember when we got this at the same time.
That's Clive, dude. It's awesome. I love it. Half primed. It's pretty great. But that's that. And then while I'm on this Final Fantasy kick, let me put this back real quick, and then we'll get into the next one. While I'm on the Final Fantasy kick, and then I'll let Jan show off whatever he's got. I don't have the remake edition, but I have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Deluxe Edition, and I think
that's a great edition.
The world and the lore of 15 is great. The storytelling is just not there. I agree.
I'm willing to believe that. Willing to believe that. It just like it's not in the game. That's the main problem. Yeah, I know that's a shame because it definitely I love the world, and I love that it has like more of a modern take, but it just it's just the shortfall is the story. But Rebirth, I love this edition. It's a beefy ass boy here, and one of my favorite parts of it, and I'm just so I can show the people because I know Jan has this, so it's not like it's anything new to him. But I love the cover of the steelbook. I love the cover of the steelbook. It's simple, but I love it. It's with Zack and Cloud. Well, Zack is carrying Cloud, and they're heading into Midgard. Fucking awesome. I love it. I haven't beaten the story of Rebirth, so I know Jan's he's looking at me weird. Russ, you were looking at me weird when you were on the show. Guys, I'm gonna do it. I just don't know when. I just don't. That game almost made me not want to be a gamer anymore, not really play games. And no, that's cool.
But you can't say this shit's not quality. It's quality through and through, and I love this special edition. I'm glad I have it. So, but that's all the Final Fantasy I have. Jan, you got anything else?
Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna say before I show what I want to show. Since you showed the FF7 Rebirth Deluxe Edition, I'm gonna show the FF7 Remake Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, show
you how much better Rebirth is compared to remakes. Let me get that.
Well, that'd be good because actually I missed out on that. I actually went cheaper with the remake. I just got the standard edition, which now hindsight 2020, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hope this doesn't fall over.
You got the PS5. You got the PS5 version or the PS4 version?
No, it doesn't. Like the PS5 didn't get the deluxe edition; just got a standard.
Okay.
So just to show you, I'm showing this for comparison. Dylan just showed this. This is Rebirth, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Remake. All right. So when I show like this, look pretty similar, right?
Right.
Look at that.
Mm.
Look at that difference. Like, how else can I convey? Like, I'm trying to make them like how get it. Like it was crazy. It has pretty much the same things. It has a steelbook. It has the game. It has a soundtrack and has an art book. But everything is worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the steelbook is a steelbook, and this one, I think that if you're a fan, you might enjoy this. It's Sephiroth. It's your man.
Oh yeah,
I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Now you didn't show the art book. Oh yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I like the I prefer the subtlety of the Rebirth steelbook cover, but I will say the Sephiroth is just badass, dude. It just
I agree. So you didn't show the art book of Rebirth, but trust me, people,
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
it's good. This is the one from Remake, and it's a bit slim, isn't it? It's I think it needs a little bit more meat in its diet. Okay, it starts with a bit of a forward from the whatever.
Yeah.
Shit. And it's just I like to read them. Just
who gives a shit?
I like reading them. I really like reading them. It's kind of bare bones. Like you have the character. So one page is like dedicated to just just the in-game model. Then you have a bunch. This is nice. I just wish there was more of it. Tell you, like this is it pretty much. You have one for each of the main characters, right? And that's kind of it. Okay, you have like these pictures, but they don't. It's not the same like the one I just saw of Reload. It actually show like early concept, and even in Rebirth. Rebirth is much better than this. This is just a bunch of like a bunch of models.
Yeah,
like 2D models, sure, but like you have the enemies, the summons. Okay, for the summons, you get a bit. Summons are a bit better. Like you even get like a little bit of a sketch here. I love the sketches. I love seeing how the design evolved from the sketch to the actualization of the model in game. I really like seeing that, and they're not giving it to me here. Now you have like some enemies. This is it. I pretty much show you the whole. And you didn't. You haven't shown the. Like I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying. You haven't shown the CD, but it comes in a very nice juke. Okay, again, I hate that it's not the full soundtrack. It's not like Reload. It's like 10 tracks or something, 12 at most. But it comes in a very nice jewel case. It looks very nice. It looks professional, right? It looks like I paid over €100 for it.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how the one from this edition comes out? Like I'm showing it here but it's like the most unaesthetic thing ever. It's a piece of cardboard, right?
Oh hell yeah!
With a disc slotted in.
Hell yeah!
Like this
that's cool. See that? That's cool, man.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is shameful.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, I know. We were. I kind of rushed through the. I didn't want to dwell on it too long, but yeah, it does have a nice. I will say in the Rebirth Deluxe Edition, they do put a really nice case that holds the CD.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they tried harder. Honestly, really for Rebirth. So here, I'm just gonna take. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take a few ones that I'm really proud of, that I really like. I'm just gonna take a few, and I'm gonna go really quickly through one.
Oh yeah, bring it on. Yeah, take your time. I just don't want to sit here running my mouth the whole time because I can sit here and talk about. I can sit here and talk about The Walking Dead and Final Fantasy all day. So
yeah, we're gonna go.
The show could end up being like long if I keep it up.
Okay, it took 4. I took 4 that I think are really nice. Okay, let's go in order. First off, something that you might be into. Look at this, boy.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Look at that. Would you believe that I got this with my PS4? So pretty much they were in the shop I bought my PS4. I got thanks Practical. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. I worked on it since I'm 13. I was 13 or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good collection, man.
Thank you. So I got this. So in the shop I bought my PS4. They were running like a promotion. They were like, okay, so buy a PS4 from us and you'll get for just a few some like you add a fee like a €50 more or something, like much less than a new game, and you get either Uncharted 4 or FIFA or something like that. I'm like, come on, give me Uncharted 4.
That's such a hard choice. That's a hard choice to make,
isn't it? And they're like, oh shit, I don't have any more Uncharted 4s, standard editions. So they gave me this.
Wow.
Like, yeah, dude, and wait till you see what's in here. You got the steelbook. Look at the steelbook, dude. Look at this shit.
That's clean, man. I like it.
And yeah, a little skeleton here, kind of sucker or pirate. And I'll show this. So you have the disc, obviously, and on the back is this cool ass map.
Yeah.
Look at it. That's clean as hell. I love it.
Yeah, clean as hell, dude. Naughty Dog does such a good job with their special editions, man.
Then you get a bunch of stickers, which I remember at the time, I really had to fight my brother because he wanted to put them on his something, I don't know, on a toy or something. I'm like, no, don't you understand? These are never meant to be get stuck on.
That's a cool. I don't even know if they did anything like. Is that an art book?
That is an art book.
Hell yeah!
And kind of bare bones, but look at the difference.
And look, it's Tom Holland.
Yeah, right. Come on, and look how, again, concept art.
Yeah,
they have that in very different art styles, and this is all I ask for an art book. I don't need nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to see. I like to be able to see the thought process behind the. God, I'm really bad at filming. I like to see the thought process behind the creation of all these worlds, of all these characters.
Yeah,
this really just one of the best parts of the game, the auction. By the way, fun fact: that auction is set somewhere in southern Italy, as you know, and you have the guards that you're clobbering. They're speaking. They're supposed to be speaking Italian, but fun fact: they're speaking very those people are not. They have a very wacky accents. They have that's as if you get me to play for a Native American. Then an actual person that was born in America. That's how goofy they sound.
Yeah,
and it's very goofy. But then what else I got? I got the Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th anniversary edition, launch edition. These are just ports of Bayonetta and Vanquish. Very nice games. I don't know how much you're into Platinum games. I mostly bought this for Bayonetta, but I got Vanquish and I enjoyed Vanquish. Yeah. But it's a sleeve. And look at that. Ooh. I love me my Umbral Witch. I love her so much. She's pretty much like a female Dante from DMC. That's pretty much who she is. And then on the back you got Vanquish, who I'm not that much into, but it's really fun. I think you'd like Vanquish, honestly. It's very fun. It's like a shooter, but it's very fast paced. You go in, you slide, you run, you slide, you shoot, you get into a bullet time while you shoot. It really discourages using covers, and it encourages you just getting in that enemy's face, just getting in his his tushy and just blowing it to the moons and back.
I can't say nothing. I'm playing through Gears right now, and that's like testosterone times 10. So
and this one it's a Japanese game, but it's very like American core. So you get the main guy who's called Sam or something. In the it was very bad at it. Me too. It has a learning curve. Definitely one of the hardest platinums ever. By the way, it's hard as balls.
You talking about Vanquish? You talking about Vanquish?
Vanquish. I'm talking about Vanquish. Hard as balls. So and the main character he's Sam. I don't know. This is like a space marine kind of thing, and the story really doesn't matter as much. He in the very first cutscene, he's he's smoking a cigarette, right? And he's getting briefed, and they're saying, "Oh man, they're surrounding us. They're really coming at us full force." They're like, "Well, I'll make him regret it." Puts the cigarette away, gets the suit on. So that's pretty much the vibe of it. Then you get Nier Automata, limited edition. I don't know if another platinum game. So Nier Automata, it's cool because it starts as a game where you play as a scantily dressed robot lady, destroying other robots in a very like flashy fashion, and it ends with existential dread. It's dude, the curve, the curveball this game throws at you is incredible. Like supposedly you're an android, like you're these androids, and pretty what happened, like an alien invasion made all surviving humans relocate to the moon, and from the moon they're sending their androids to fight the alien robots. So each force has its own robot army, right? The humans have the androids, the aliens have the robots, and you're fighting the robots, right? And it's most like generic, whatever, who gives a shit. And then slight spoiler, and I don't mind spoiling this to you because I'm spoiling it to you to pull you in.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you find out that all the aliens are dead. The robots have no masters, right? I guess man, what are we fighting for, right? The Earth can be reclaimed pretty much at this point,
right?
And then, huge spoiler, you find out that humans are dead too. So these guys have been fighting for years. I don't remember how many years for nothing. They were fighting in the name of masters who have been long gone. And that's when the game starts from being fun, just fun, to being brilliant. It's existential. It really. I'm playing this. I'm like, dude, what am I even fighting for? Like, why am I playing this game? Why do I even exist?
Yeah.
Right. It's.
You sound like
really
me
great.
you sound like me when I watched The Matrix. When I watched The Matrix for the first time, I was like, why the fuck am I here? Like, where am I at? Like, what am I actually doing?
Dude.
Yeah.
It makes you question everything.
Correct.
And,
yes.
And the soundtrack is beautiful. It's kind of like Stellar Blade.
Yeah, it's like same developer, right? No? Oh, we already talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did too.
But very similar, and somehow it managed to be hopeful by the end. Ending very hopeful, very very hopeful. By the way, this is the.
I was gonna say they made a prequel to that, didn't they? Like it wasn't Nier Automata; it was like something else, wasn't it?
Okay, well, it's the other way around. This one is actually a sequel to Nier, and they remastered the original game as Nier Replicant version 1 point whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, you're seeing this, and you see the shitty Western cover, right? It's whatever, but then you get a little steelbook here.
You're talking about America like that, you piece of shit.
Well, no. Like, come on. Like, you can't.
Yeah, no, I understand.
For some reasons, the American cover arts are very unaesthetic. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah.
But it's great because that was back then. Today, all cover arts are unaesthetic. There are no regional differences, so it's great. We're all equally as shitty. So we're no better than you guys. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. I loved. It's clearly like a parody of those B movies, those B sci-fi movies where you have the guy who's holding the gal and there's like a robot in the back somewhere. But here's the gal holding the guy. I don't know. I just kind of like the little detail.
Yeah.
And last but definitely not least, we got Silent Hill 2 here. And we got this edition is kinda beaten up. I got it like this. There's like Scotch tape up here, and but I'm gonna tell you, Dylan, I got this for like €30 on eBay, and the versions that were not as beaten up were in the upwards of hundreds.
Oh wow!
So, you know what? I bit the bullet with this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, really cool. I mean, Silent Hill 2, what else is there to say, right? Just fantastic psychological horror, right? If the remake ends up being shit, at least I can say I have this one, right? I can have the one that
yeah.
And it's by the way, you can read it, but here it says the silence has been broken. It's kind of right, very ominous. And it's slit, and you have here there's like a bunch of like quotes from the game but they're very scrambled, and just opens. You open it, and much like with the Kingslave, like with the thing you shown, you get 2 discs. You get the game, and you get a making of DVD with a documentary of the making of the game. And you don't know much about the story, but pretty much James Sutherland, the main character, he's looking for his wife, Mary, right? So yeah, we're Resident Evil 7. Jason, but and again, his wife's dead. Is that she hasn't disappeared like Resident Evil. She is actually died before his eyes because of a disease. And but he gets a letter from her saying, I remember once we went to like this town. In my troubled dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised to take me there someday, but you never did. I'm there now, in our special place, and I'm waiting for you. So of course it's desperate, but he goes, right? And shenanigans ensue. And among the wacky characters he finds is a woman called Maria, who's identical to his wife, but it's not really her. And so the 2 discs, one of them is Mary. This is Mary, and the making of is Maria.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So I thought kind of cool, right? It's the so yeah, that's it for me. What else have you got?
Silent Hill, man, is so intriguing, man. I hope that the remake, because everything you're saying about it before I get into my next thing, hopefully with the remake it'll really spark, like kind of like what Resident Evil did for you because you'd never played it. Hope Silent Hill kind of does that for me. I'm not saying I'm gonna go back and play the originals, unless it just depends, right? But I love the idea of Silent Hill, like some of my favorite horror movies are those psychological thrillers, more of like because you don't realize the scariest movies and the scariest stories of your life is up here. Like I've seen more scary shit just with myself than like any movies I've ever seen. Like I can make shit up in my head that absolutely terrifies me. And then I watch a movie and it just, you might be able to jump scare me. You might be able to have something creepy, but I can come up with some crazy ass shit. Like you're just looking at yourself in the mirror. And how about if like your reflection winked at you, like all of a sudden, and I'm like, that would be fucking wild. And it's like, bro, like that's terrifying to me. You know what I mean?
And you're freaking out of nothing, right? Because nothing actually happened. That's
correct. And I think that's the kind of horror. Like I love situational horror, and it's definitely like that kind of, like, honestly, I find that more scary, like the actual like the traumatic horror as opposed to like supernatural stuff. But that's just me. I love just that kind of, like more of a thriller, you know what I'm saying? My next one is actually a part 1 of the same package. This is Dead Island 2 Steelbook Edition. This is one of the characters in the game on the front cover. On the back, this just shows some more characters, some zombies, some fire action. And then obviously here's the inside of it with Dead Island 2. I love the disc because it's kind of got more of like a tropical look to it. Well, not really tropical, but I think it's in Florida, or California. I don't remember. I think it's California. So it's got a lot of movie sets and things like that. Let's go over Dead Island 2 because you haven't played Dead Island 2, have you?
No,
Jan?
but I know that Dead Island 2 was like this game. It was announced and then it was canceled and it was revived from the ground. I know
it was definitely revived, and I actually bought the special edition for that actually, and it's a pretty decent sized box. Again, slipcover comes off, that's a staple of this, and it's actually instead of here's one thing I hate about deluxe versions. They're hard as shit to open sometimes. Look at this shit. Look how easy this is. Slide this shit off. So satisfying, bro. And this actually has some cool shit in it. So you get this little envelope here, you open it up, and I believe this has playing cards in it, and these cards are actually archetypes within the game. So like this is archetype? Well, it's like, so this is like a strength archetype. So like if you want a strength build character, she's one of the characters in the game. Then you got the hermit. They have the archetypes, but plus some of the characters you can play as in the game. So the hermit's kind of like he's kind of got like a stocking cap on. I'm trying to get as close as I can. It's kind of dark.
I can kind of see it. Yeah.
But they're cool. They're reflective cards. They're really well made. This is the lovers, and it's just cool, like comic book esque zombie killing action. And you know me, like I love zombies, so don't have an issue with it. This is Wheel of Fortune. Girl with a cigarette in her mouth, and she's got a shotgun in her hand. And let's see, this one is the Emperor. This is actually the guy on the cover of the game. He's got a samurai sword, has dreads. And then you have the Tower, which is more of like a hulking character. He's kind of like the if you're gonna have there's a strength build and then there's an actual brute build, and that's one of the characters in the game.
Okay.
I actually
like tank them.
Yeah, kind of like tank character. And then you also there's a little patch that comes with it too, Infernal. I think it's like a brand within the game, but I thought that was really cool. Has a lot of good collector's items in it. That Dead Island 2 is a weird one, right? Because I love the first Dead Island. Matter of fact, it's arguably one of my favorite games of all time because I remember I used to play with my cousin. My cousin, I like, as Jan knows, and I've told you guys, my cousin passed away a few years ago, and we loved that. We used to play Dead Island together in co-op, and so Dead Island's a very special game to me. Plus, you know me, I love zombies. Dead Island 2 is decent, but it doesn't have that same pull as the first one. It also comes with a couple pins. One's like got a shark. Another one's got like some cherries, I think. Yeah, it looks like some bloody looking cherries. So that was kind of cool. Just some pins. And then I won't show this whole thing, but I think it comes with like a little poster and a little map. I don't think I've opened it, actually. I think I've kept it in the seal because I just didn't want to tamper with it too much. But I thought it was a really nice little set. And yeah, very, very proud of it, man. And the game itself is pretty decent. The gore system is awesome. Like, every time you cut a zombie, you can see the cut. You know what I'm saying? If I slice a zombie across the chest, you just see the slice, and it's freaking sick. And awesome color. I loved it. I love how it kind of has like that laminated look to it. Almost dropped the shit out of it. And then there's the back. Like yeah, but yeah, that's that. And I think that's really the main things I have. The only thing I have left, I'll show this off, and then if you got anything extra, you go on ahead. But I did an unboxing for this, and I had to keep this for last. The last was part 2, WLF edition. I love this. The game I've come to love even more over the past few years. Still not my favorite. Still don't love the story as much, but it is a really great edition. And did I ever show you what the steelbook looked like?
You might have. I can't remember right now. Show it.
All right. Well, yeah. Let me see if I can. This is kind of annoying to get out of here. I would actually open this up before the show started, and I'm like, please don't rip the fucking box, because like every time, like when I was doing unboxings on the YouTube channel, I was so notorious. You can look back at those videos. I was notorious for fucking up the boxes.
Oh my god!
And I'm trying to be gentle, and I still have a problem. So anyway, just a regular black box when you open it up, but the inside is where the shit gets like really interesting. So I'll try to show this in a way where it looks decent. But there's what it looks like when you open it up. And I mean, it just looks real pristine. We'll go through each thing real quick. That way you get a closer look at it. But we'll start off first with the steelbook. I think I accidentally clicked that. Here's a steelbook right here of Last was Part 2. You got Ellie walking towards Seattle. Very clean. Very clean. And then they have Abby on the back. Super sick. And then you open up the front. I don't think there's really much going on the front, but I'll show it anyway. There's just a disc, and it's not really a whole lot going on in the back, but cool edition. I actually got the $10 upgrade, so I've actually never put that disc in the console yet, so I'm just going to keep it right there. The next thing is it has a deck of playing cards for the comic book that Ellie was reading. What is it called? Society of Champions.
What's that?
It's a comic book.
She's reading Savage Starlight. That's the name of the comic.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
something in the universe of that comic, maybe.
Yeah, from the acclaimed Savage Starlight. Yeah, you're right. So this is the card game.
You collect the cards in the game.
Yeah,
it's collectibles. Yeah. Oh, so is that full deck?
Yeah, it's a full deck of cards. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, it's full deck cards, and actually, one of the cards has Neil Druckmann as one of the heroes or whatever in there.
It's slick.
Yeah, very slick. Yeah, I looked at it. Yeah, and then has a WLF patch like I showed before. Has the wolf symbol there, and then you have a couple of pins there with the hammer, the skull there, and then there's 2 more. I think one's like a cassette tape. And I don't know what the other one. Let me see. The other one I can't tell. It looks like a bullseye. It kind of has like a little symbol like that. I don't know what that's supposed to be a symbol for. But that's the Last of Us Part 2 collection, WLF. I'm really proud of that. This is the most expensive collection I've ever gotten, and it's for a game that I don't specifically like love like that. But I saw that it was available. I couldn't get Part 1, so I said, why not? I've looked up a price check for Part 1, and it's a bit expensive, so I'm gonna hold off on that. But I'm glad I got that one. So, but I think that's all. That's all I have. Well, you got anything else?
Well, first off, let me tell you, I really like the WFF. I really love The Last of Us, just like you do, and I kind of want to complete that love with both of those, the Firefly edition and the Wolf edition. But sadly, it was not to be. But because they look really nice. But as you said, yeah, I'm not just as Firefly edition. Wolf edition now is like crazy expensive on on reselling websites, and I refuse to give into that. I refuse to give into that. I just, because that's what I was talking about earlier. That at that point it's less because of the actual value of it, and more so because I just want to have it. And to me, it doesn't make sense. To me, yes, sure, these are nice trinkets to have, but it's mostly, as I said before, it's more kind of it's a library, it's an archive of mine, right?
Yeah.
Both of what these things actually are, like the contents of the disc or of the comic, whatever, but also as kind of as a showcase of the promotional material, which I think is just as interesting. That's why I focus on cover so much too, right? Yeah, I think it's just very interesting how they decided to present these games and media, and that's why I talk about regional difference so much, because I think it's very interesting how differently they decide to present it to different parts of the world. I'm actually writing my thesis on that, dropping a fun fact on different game localization, how it differs from country to country, region to region. I do have one last thing, and talked about it before, is the comics. I have 3 comics here, right? 3 graphic novels, I guess I'm supposed to call them. One from each of 3 continents, of which comics I'm familiar with. I know there's like comics from other ones. These are the ones I'm still exploring the word. These are the ones I'm familiar with, and I chose them because each one of them is very important to me on an emotional, personal level. So we're gonna start west, and we're gonna go eastward. All right. So we're gonna start west. We're gonna start with the Americas. We're gonna start with a Canadian comic. You might know about it, Blankets. Never heard of it? It's a chunky one.
Whoa!
Yeah,
holy shit!
Yeah. Blanket. That's why. Yeah, it's a graphic novel. It's from one Craig Thompson. I guess that's how you pronounce that name. And it's kind of a biography, autobiography of his life. It focuses mainly on 2 things: his relationship with religion and his emotional, romantic relationship with her, with his first big love. And but it goes, first off, let me show you some of these pictures, dude. It's let's look at that art. I think it's it's simplistic. It's a bit abstract, but I think it's very nice. And since he's talking about his life, his first childhood, then teenagehood, and then maybe slightly young adulthood, I think it's very it gives off that. It feels like, when I think of my memories, my cherished memories, this is what they feel like. They're a bit distant. The fact that it's in black and white, I kind of like it. I like the shades of it. It's very dreamlike. It's very ethereal, and the story is actually kind of heartbreaking. Low key, both the one with religion and the one with the girl. They're both kind of heartbreaking, but they're beautiful, right? And I remember I actually read this when I was getting into a long distance relationship, much like this one. Although my long distance relationship was much more long distance than his. His one, between states. I mean, mine was between continents.
Holy shit!
And
yeah,
the states, right? And I don't know. And I remember when I first read it, I wasn't enthralled by it, but I kind of hated it because it ends. It doesn't have a proper happy ending. And I thought, fuck that, man. These relationships can work. we're 10 years later. It's been 10 years, dude. 10 years later, I reread it, and I get it now. I kind of get it. You know, I'm I'm a bit older, hopefully a bit wiser, and that little bit of wiseness helped me understand this piece of art much more. Let me show you just once more a bit of a. And by the way, when I read it the first time, I read it in the States actually, and I got it from a library. Yeah, from a library, so it wasn't mine, right? And I think a year or so back, I just remembered that this exists and wanted to reread it. So I was like, and it was around the time for Christmas. So I told my parents, you know what, Mom and Dad, you never know what to buy me that, buy me this graphic novel. And they said, dude, yeah, my parents.
They called you dude?
No, they didn't call me dude. But they're like, son, you are, what are you talking about? We have this graphic novel. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, your dad gifted it to you when you were 5, and we left it at the very first home. Like, I moved a lot, and this was actually, I found it. I had to go back into my childhood home to find it, and it's so weird because it represents 2 periods of my life that kind of intertwined. Because I went to my childhood home to find this, which is a big part of my teenagehood.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I was like, what? This is. It's like finding out something about stuff you didn't even know. And actually, it does have a. My dad actually wrote me something here, and it's actually very nice. I don't know how well it translates, but it says 2005. I was 5 back then. I don't know what my dad was smoking. I cannot read this as 5.
Right.
But it says to Jan, with a lot of whys, a lot of questions, without focusing on any in particular. Your dad. I just think that's very poetic, like, and that's why this edition might not be the deluxe edition. It might not be the most expensive or the prettiest edition out there. I see a lot of like anniversary editions that are like hardcover, and the cover is beautiful. It's like 2 of them in a snow, and it's a blizzard or whatever. This is a lot more meaningful to me just because of the emotional tie that it has to me, of course.
Yeah.
So there's that. We're moving eastward. So we're going to Europe, going to an Italian graphic novel. This is by one Zero Calcare. Zero Calcare, that's a stage name, obviously. And again, it's autobiographical. The title, he made a lot of graphic novels, almost all autobiographical. This one is called A Squitter on My Throat. It sounds a bit silly, but and again, it's a bit beaten up. But that's because I got this when I was 11 or something. And first of all, before I say anything about it, I'll say that there's a quote here in the back. It says there's a broken down toy of a Japanese mech, and it says, "Remember, no one heals from their childhood." And it kind of sets the tone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what this is, by the way, Zoro Kakari, he actually made it big. He in 2021 he got a Netflix show, which actually has a very good English dub. Like, if you're a non-Italian speaker, I actually recommend watching it in English because you have my permission. It's a very good English dub. It translates. It manages to maybe not translate perfectly, but it manages to localize, like make a lot of the jokes and references make sense. I actually really recommend it to you, Dylan. We can even talk about it.
Sure.
But that's another story.
Yeah.
So this is about. So what is the squitter on my throat? So pretty much, when he was a kid, he snitched. He snitched on one of his dearest friends, Sarah, who even had a crush on her back then. And wait, I'm not even showing you what it looks like. So it's very. This is what the style is very, very. It's kind of like very comical. It has this very stylized drawings, right? And actually, and again, it combines comedic with actual, with deep stories. He managed to do it so well. I don't know how he managed to walk the rope so nice. It starts with him being he's in complete he's completely like hopeless because he hasn't watched. I don't know how much Knights of the Zodiac were popular in the States, but they were like super popular in Italy. It's this all-time anime, and he hasn't watched the episode, last night's episode, and just he knows because that's that's what all the boys talk about during recess. It's like, oh shit, you're gonna know I didn't watch it, and I mean, you know how like a society works. I'm going to become an outcast. I'm gonna have to eat recess with the girls. It's like the worst thing ever. So it's very comedic, but it's anyhow, what happened? He snitches on his friend Sarah, who's a crush on, and so he gets he starts feeling so bad. His feeling of guilt is so great that this is the moment of truth. The sliding doors when He-Man is telling him not to snitch, and Darth Vader is telling him to snitch.
That's cool.
So, yeah, he does end up snitching. So all the bad guys are like having a welcome party. You got the Necromorph, you got Jafar, you got the Cthulhu,
Yeah.
and among the other things, he gets the squid. And Darth Vader is telling him, "Oh, don't you worry, it's from the house. It's kind of a homage, to welcome you." He's being sarcastic because it's obviously a very bad thing. It's this crushing sense of guilt. It's like crushing his throat.
Oh, okay.
And he feels it, right? And he has to bear with it throughout his entire childhood. His entire teenagehood. He actually goes through. It time skips a lot. They're teenagers here, and basically shows how he lives with this guilt throughout most of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends when he's 30, and it's about that, but it's about a lot of other things. It's about the mystique of childhood. It's about the mysteries of childhood, the unexplored mysteries that never really get resolved, right? And when they do, they get resolved in very weird and sometimes cruel ways. And I think it's really great. The Netflix show that I talked about got so popular overseas that they actually started. This is from 2011 or something. But the Netflix show was so popular that I heard back then that they actually were planning on printing his first 3 books. This is one of them. This is his second book. So I would be curious to read the English translation. I'd be curious to see because it has one thing it didn't say. It's heavily accentuated. Like he uses a lot of accent. He's like from Rome, like central Italy, and it's not in dialect, but a lot of the dialogues are written in that cadence.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like when English, when you have like someone who has like a heavy southern accents. So and it's written so he has like his dialogue has a lot of asterisks, right?
Yeah, right.
So this is kind of like that. So be curious to hear how they translated that. So there's that. There's a big one. Final one. I know this is long-winded. I'm almost done.
That's fine. No, take your time.
So last one, we got Japan. Of course, Jan cannot talk about anything without talking about his mangas, right? So here's one called Distant Neighborhoods by Jiro Taniguchi. Jiro Taniguchi is a very particular manga artist because he has a lot of Western influences. And again, this is another chunker, just like 500 pages or something. And this is, I'm actually not so much in the circle of the community of like Jiro Taniguchi lovers. I know he's much more loved here than he is in Japan. He's more loved here than in his home country. And I don't know where this stands in the community's ranking, but this is my favorite one. I love this. It's about this commuter, right? It's about a man who commutes every day from Kyoto to Tokyo, right, for work. And one day he realizes that he got on the wrong train. Back from work, he got on the wrong train, and not only he got on the wrong. So you see, it's very obviously Japanese, but kind of Western, right? The way the what do you call them? The vignettes are disposed, right? Are dispersed, very Western style. So not only did he get the wrong train, he got a very particular train. He took a train that takes to his hometown, to his childhood hometown, right? And so he's like, oh man, what a coincidence, right? But since he's there, and once he's there, he thinks about his mother, his poor mother, who died prematurely. And so while he's at it, he visits his mom's grave, right? He goes there, he goes to pray at his mom's grave. And at some point he blacks out. And when he comes to, he realizes that he is in his 14-year-old self's body. Not only that, he got transported in the past, right? So, it's a story we heard a lot of times, right? But here's the thing. He obviously still has a conscience of his middle-aged self.
Right.
And he's not just reliving his teenage years, because since he's obviously acting differently, he is changing it. Things are going differently from he remembers. He actually managed to ask his crush out, and she becomes his girlfriend. There's this part where he remembers one time he got intimidated by a bunch of bullies at school, right? Who were like smoking in the backyard, in school backyard. But in this one, he actually shows up to them, right? Because he's obviously much more knowledgeable than them. And it's a re-exploration of childhood. And you see, there's a common theme here.
Yeah.
I think I'm a very nostalgic person.
Yeah.
And that's why I love these stories. This is the one I was talking about. Here are the bullies who are kind of trying to mess with him.
Yeah.
But then he starts smoking like the cig, and he starts like wisecracking. He says, "Oh yeah, the highlights are kind of strong," and he starts saying, "Yeah, soon they'll be banned because of that, and they'll start selling a new version with less nicotine." And they're like, "What the fuck is this man talking about?"
Yeah.
So anyhow, I didn't say the biggest part of the story is that he actually thinks, the first thing he thinks when he realizes what's happening, he's like, "Oh shit, I can figure out what happened to dad." Dad, once he, as Kisode would say, he went to grab the milk. One day he went out and he never came back home.
Grab the milk.
And and he never understood why. He never got to learn why. And he sees this as as an opportunity to learn. He's like, what the hell happened, right? So he interacts with his dad a lot in this story, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to say that it's more about the journey and less about the destination. I think when you read these, it's less about you being intrigued, like, oh man, it's like a mystery, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's less about that. It's more about straight up enjoyment.
Right.
Straight up, you read it like on a Sunday afternoon, possibly in summer. Maybe if you have like a balcony or like what do you guys in the States have? The porch. If you have like a porch, something like that, you read that, you listen to the birds chirping, just enjoy, have like something like a orange juice or something here with you, and just enjoy the story. That's how I recommend to enjoy it.
Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah, that sounds great.
That's all I have.
All those sound good. Definitely after this show, man, sometime or another, I'm gonna have to get you to send me some DMs of some of these things.
I would love to.
And also too, I don't think it'd be a bad idea either. Anybody who watches later or watching now, definitely, if you want to know more of the names of any of the stuff that we've shown, whether it's the graphic novels that Jan shown or any of the special editions we have, we can also put that down in the comments section as well, just so you get your own copy. So.
We love spreading things that we love. I mean, I think the stories are the best creation of mankind, like bar none, in any of their forms, right? So I think that sharing stories is the pinnacle of human interaction.
Yeah, and the thing is, like a lot of those, so and here you are today, you showed graphic novels, right? Graphic novels, you get the best of both worlds. You have that great dialogue, and then you have the visual and the artwork that the artist put into these things that even tells the story even further without saying much at all. That's why I love comic books, and I love, like, The Walking Dead is such a great job at that. Like, and that's one of my favorites, is that it has a lot of those subtle moments where there's no walkers in the background, there's nobody getting shot, there's nobody getting killed. It's just moments where Rick is sitting with his son, and they're looking at a sunset after what they just been through, and it's telling a story of, okay, we just went through some tough shit, but we can keep going. It's not the end, And I'm not trying to sound like like I'm preaching here, but it's beautiful when you have that kind of thing. And graphic novelization is such a media that I hope still stays around forever. I mean, it's great, and all those sound great, Jan. And I really appreciate you sharing that with me and to everybody watching, because I think we get so, and we've talked about this before, I think we all get so stuck in this like digital age, and I'm not trying to sound old here, but we get so stuck into, you know, the video games and the social medias and the TikTok and things like that. But man, if people would just pick up and read some of these graphic novels, man, and just books in general, I mean, books are just fantastic, man. So I want to do that myself, and definitely, I actually to go off some of the ones you've shown, I downloaded the demo, or not the demo, but like the first few pages of the Spider-Man. The first one you showed that was he's Peter Parker's born in 1960. It kind of goes to his whole life.
Yeah,
I actually started that one and I didn't get the full thing. I read the first few pages. I was like, oh man, it's great. And then my trial ended. I was like, shit. So I'll have to do that. But yeah, man, it's such a great art form, and what a great damn episode. Holy shit. It's been 3 hours.
Now you understand why I was so giddy about it. Like, I'm so sad it's over.
Yeah, no, it's like that's the thing. Like, I felt like I was rushing, but I just did. Honestly, I wanted to hear more of what you had to share, man. My shit is very like, for me, like, yeah, there's obviously more memorabilia. There's obviously more things that I could have brought to the table, but I was just trying to think of like, okay, what's the best way to close out our first 50 episodes, and me and Jan were talking before the show, and I think it was a good idea. Maybe this is the end of the first season of the Deadhead podcast. Maybe this is it. And not it completely, but end of the first season. I think that's a great way to cap off the first 50 episodes, because when I started the show, and I know we're kind of late, so I could go for another hour, but my wife might kill me. But when I first started the show, I didn't know what I wanted it to be. And honestly, up until like a year and a half ago, I honestly still don't know what I want it to be. I think we had a lot of things. Russ, thank you, brother. 50 episodes. We need to have you on, man. Send me your availability. We'll have you on again, man. It was such a fun time talking to you, dude. And I really appreciate you listening to a couple nerds talk, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, when I started the show over 3 years ago, I didn't know where this is going to go. I had no idea. My first guest was my wife.
I remember
and it's not because I don't want her on. I love my wife. I love talking to her, but it's just we started, getting to more of the gaming and pop culture side, and she's into that. She's not as into it as like we are, And I'll definitely have her on again in the future. But I didn't know where I wanted to go with this, man. I knew I wanted to do horror, scary, kind of things. I know I wanted to do TV shows. I know I love movies. I know I love video games, and I think we've definitely turned more on the video game side of things, which is not a bad thing at all. That's not I don't say that in any kind of negative connotation. I just didn't know where it was headed, and I know that we still got a long ways to go as far as I think our own personal goals with the show, but I am very proud of the 50 episodes we've done. I'm proud. I'm so glad I reached out to an old buddy that I met in high school so many years ago, and that we've been able to click and become closer and really make a good show. And we've had some great guests. Russ, you're one of them, man. I'm serious. We're not trying to kiss your ass, man. It was such a great show with you on. Lyra, she was great. Emma from Once Upon a Quest, fantastic. The Arcane Pain, my boy Emmett. I can keep going. We've had so many guests on, man. We've had a lot of guests, and we want to have more. So I know this is long-winded, but I'm really happy of what we've done here, and it's a great show. And I really need this, and it because life is hard. I'm going through things, nothing bad, but I'm going through things and trying to get ready for this baby, and I need this. I haven't made a video in like a month and a half, which is weird for me. I don't really not make content, but I just haven't really had the time nor the desire to, but I always have a desire to come back to the Deadhead podcast. So, sorry, I know that was kind of long-winded. Jan, but you got anything you'd like to add as far as the show in general?
Oh, well, no, I'll keep it short, mostly because most of the things I want to say, I think you said it better than I could hope to. I just take this time to just say, and I said this a bunch of times, but I never would have expected this. When you first sent me this message, right, about, do you want to come be a guest on the podcast with me? I never would have expected for to come to this, for us celebrating our 50th episode, talking just about our favorite paraphernalia, favorite media, favorite TV shows and comics and games, be what of it, and just be able to talk about it so genuinely. I think that there has to be a connection, right? Yeah, we are just two nerds, right, talking about things we like. But we're also, I think there's a very deep friendship between us, right? Because otherwise, we wouldn't be able to talk about it so openly. I think you need, this kind of dynamic to be able to do it. And I'll be honest with you, dude. Like back when you first invited me here, I really didn't take it that seriously. And now I just want to go back to that guy that I was just slapping right in the face. It's just one of the best things ever. I enjoyed doing this so much. I'm ever grateful to have it. And what else to say? I just love having a platform where I can talk to you about it, talk to a fellow nerd, and hopefully, spread the love with the things we love so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes just mess around, just fool around, crack some jokes, make some people laugh. I think, again, to me, this is maybe in a very maybe in a a microcosm. This is kind of like the pinnacle of human interaction, sharing things we love, sharing stories we love.
Yeah. That was beautifully said, and I think what that comes down to is being able to talk to people from all around the world too, right? I mean, if we would have lived in a different time, Jan, I don't know if I'd ever talk to you again. I mean, I'm just
Probably not.
maybe somehow, some way, but it's not as easy as we can now. Not when we literally have each other within arm's length because of social media and things like that. So. It's been a good thing, man. I'm really happy what we have. And, like I said, it's, I think it's a very safe space to talk about games and have opinions, right? Like, hey, look, I know I've had some takes that's made you be like, what the fuck? And you've had takes and I'm like, get out of here. You know what I mean? But I think that's what makes it genuine, right? You talked about, you can have two nerds in a room, but if you don't have that connection, it's different, right? Like and this is no shame to any other shows out there, but I have seen some that you have two or more people and it just doesn't seem as tight. It doesn't seem as natural. It just seems like everybody's just trying to one up the other. And that's something I never want to happen. I never want to one up just because I'm over here saying that, like, I like playing as like a super badass character and I like and things like that. It doesn't mean like other people can't play. If you want to play as a little fox running around platforming, then that's fine. You know what I mean? I might not agree with your take, but that's completely fine. And so I hope this has always been somewhat of a safe space, and hope everybody's enjoyed these past 50 episodes because it's been a wild ride, and I'm intrigued to see how the next 50 go. So if this is the end of the first season, the second season should be even better. So
imagine, yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah,
ahead.
no, but I was gonna say, just to have some closing thoughts, man. Well, I know that was a big closing thought, but thank you guys for watching Deadhead Podcast. I know this was a long one, but hopefully you guys stuck around for it, whether you watch it now or you watch it later. I know a lot of our views still come a little bit later, and we appreciate that. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, follow us everywhere, and we can you'll be able to notify when we have new shows and episodes and things like that. So, yeah, Jan, do you have any closing words before we end season 1?
Well, just as you said, these 50 have been great. Here's to 50 more. And as a certain, not chainsaw, but a machine gun for an arm wearing dude once said, there's no getting off this train we're on. It's Barrett.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, I was leaning towards Barrett, but okay. But yeah, no, it's crazy to believe. Episode 50. Thank you guys for checking us out. Really appreciate it. Let us know if you have or if there's any collections that you have. Let us know down in the comments. Be around for our next episode. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but we'll talk about that and update you as soon as we can. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching another episode of Deadhead Podcast. And most importantly, stay dead, my friends.
Stay